What's up, everybody? RevivalHouse.net here with a special commentary. I say that all the time because they're all special. It's the season. It's Christmas time officially, with Thanksgiving, as of this recording, being a couple days away. And we're going to do one of my favorite Christmas movies that a lot of people don't really acknowledge as a Christmas movie. I just think it's because it's largely forgotten, but it's also the greatest Batman movie ever. Obviously, that's a subjective opinion. But we're doing Batman Returns, and we've got Zach here, of course.
What's up?
My bodacious psychic, and then we got a special guest in the form of Josh James from the Rrated horror commentary. What's up?
Hey man, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm
we're
excited,
fantastic.
baby. We haven't talked to Josh for a while. I talked to him sooner than you did, not even that long ago.
Yeah, because you guys did Friday 3 without me.
Mhm.
I was too busy getting crazy
Being
in
a little
Las
bitch.
Vegas. Yeah, I know. But you know what? I got to say, you guys have been super patient with me tonight. I've been keeping you guys waiting. I don't want to keep you guys waiting any longer. Let's go ahead and get started, and let's just dig into this. We're going to do a 3 count as normal. Are you guys ready?
Oh, you should tell him that we paused it right whenever the logo fades in, right after it gets done.
Fuck
fading.
it. They should know.
All
They
right.
should know this shit, Zach.
Okay, let's go.
No, I'm just kidding. So we're with our copy of it. I don't know where it came from, if it's a rip from the DVD or what it is, but we're at 5 seconds in. Basically, it's when the Warner Brothers logo has completely faded in and it's completely solid. So get to that point. For us, it's about 5 seconds, and that's where we're going to go from. Are you happy, Zach?
Mhm.
Are we happy now? All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love this movie.
It's that Warner Brothers. I know those motherfuckers. They owe me some money.
You guys are going to have to forgive me. I'm totally not comfortable right now because, like I said, it's obviously Thanksgiving time. I'm in my hometown for the holidays, and I'm in like my kid brother's bedroom. I had to make do with like a makeshift podcast setup. There's fucking Pee Wee Herman, y'all. Sorry. So I'm like very uncomfortable. I've got my mic and stuff elevated with a stack of PlayStation 3 games. My laptop's on a crazy end table. My shin is jamming into his like TV stand. I'm very uncomfortable, but it's what I do.
Nice.
I'm as close as my mic as I can get. I love this opening scene, man. It's crazy, and it's so dark. And I love that Tim Burton is loyal to Paul Rubens, you know? This movie came out past his accusations of him fondling himself in a movie theater, exposing himself.
Wasn't this before that happened, or
No, this is 92, brother. He lost his show in 91, I do believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is after.
This came out in 92. It might have been made around
I
the
still
time.
think it was after.
All right.
Don't try to challenge me. I'm just kidding. I do think it was after, though. I think I don't have the stuff in front of me, but I believe I looked this up at one point. But who knows? Regardless, Paul Rubens is incredible.
I think they were originally gonna have Burgess Meredith do be Cobblepot's father,
I think I read that.
but he was like sick or something and couldn't do it.
Fuck yeah, he was old as shit.
Burgess Meredith is awesome, though.
He is great, man.
It would have been a nice tribute to the original Penguin, you know, from the '60s TV show, which I used to fucking love, by the way.
Yeah, it was cool.
I'm so glad I got to meet Adam
West.
Batman himself before he passed away.
Did you meet Burt Ward with him?
No, he wasn't around. It was just Adam by himself.
I saw him at a convention with him and Burt Ward together.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I didn't meet him though.
It's a fucking dark opening, man.
That's why
even for a Batman movie, man, just fucking dump their kid because he's disfigured. They like keep him in a cage.
That's
It's a
awesome.
little rubber ducky.
I don't know why people hate on this movie. Is it because it is so many liberties were taken? It's basically a Tim Burton movie. It's a Batman movie put through the Tim Burton filter. And I don't know why everybody hates it so much. Who cares if it's not accurate to a comic book description? As if comic book story arcs don't take liberties from the original source, right?
Yeah. Well, honestly, dude, with a little bit of perspective, because I hadn't seen this movie and probably... First of all, let me say, I fucking loved this movie when it came out, because I was a huge fan of the '89 Batman. I mean, like, huge. And then when this came out, of course, I was probably like 15 or something, and I went and saw it, and I liked it a lot, and I had the soundtrack, and I think I actually read the book adaptation for it.
Yeah.
And I really liked it, but I hadn't seen this movie in probably like over a decade, like maybe even like 15 years or something. And I watched it and I was like, Yeah, it's definitely, it's kind of a dated movie, but it's definitely, I think it's a good Burton-esque film, like you said. I mean, it's fun, but it's just hard when you're comparing it to something like, say, the Nolan series or whatever, you know, you have to look at it more as a Tim Burton movie than a Batman movie. There really isn't a whole lot of Batman in this movie, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
No, except he straight up kills people sometimes. Like kills the strong man, for God's sakes, and he smiles, doing it. Like, yeah, there's a little bit of malice in there, but it arguably has the most Batman moment out of any film, though. And we'll get to that. It's towards the end of the movie where he takes his hand to fucking Shrek's face and throws him down and says, "Shut up, you're going to jail." Dude, that's so fucking Batman. It's unreal.
Does he fuck his mouth?
No, but that's another thing too, man. This cast is insane, and nobody remembers Christopher Walken. But Christopher Walken is probably the best villain out of all of them. Arguably, he holds up. He goes toe to toe with the other two people. He's incredible.
It just seems like to me that that Tim Burton likes to focus on the villains more than he likes actually doing Batman stuff in this movie.
I'll give you that. Yeah, there's definitely a lot more focus, because in the first movie, that's where they kind of deal with the Batman thing. But I kind of like that. In this one, we don't focus on Batman at all. Mm-hmm. You know, it's already established. This is the only movie that they've ever done a Batman where they do not address his dead parents.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's a breath of fresh air. The only time they
kind of already did that, though.
Yeah, I know, but every movie after that, Batman Forever did, Batman Robin did, they all do it.
Yeah, they don't even reference it. They don't even show a picture on his mantle.
No, and it's cool. Who needs it? Because at this point in time, Burton thought he was going to do a trilogy, and he felt like, okay, I established it in the first one. Why keep going? And I love that, because Batman would not think about that every fucking day of his life, right?
Yeah.
So the only time they closely kind of somewhat reference it is when he's watching the Penguin as Oswald Cobblepot on the news, as he was uncovered, mention his parents. And all he says is, his parents, and he kind of sighs, "I hope he finds them." You know, that's it. That's good. But we're already getting that through the Penguin, and we kind of have an unspoken relationship between Michael Keaton's character and the Penguin. He doesn't need to talk about his own loss. We can tell that he's relating to Oswald Cobblepot, right? A little bit. So, I mean, I think it's done well. I love the aesthetic of this movie.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, it's really set heavy. You know, it's pretty it's a claustrophobic movie, you know what I mean? I mean, if you want to analyze it from a visual standpoint, but I do like the visuals. It's a cool Christmas movie, you know?
In the first one, it's so close, it's scary. I mean, I love the first one just as much in many ways. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty, the first one, obviously Burton was compromised. It was a movie that was
this is more his vision.
Yeah, well,
I think he said he would only come back to do this one if he had control over the script and stuff.
Correct.
So he really molded it, you know.
The first one, he was still a new director. He did Pee-wee, you know, and he's relatively new. And so it was commercialized, right? They had Prince do the soundtrack. We need that Prince attachment to make it more commercial. Everything. It had so many Coca-Cola ads. I don't remember if they used to run all those Diet Coke commercials with Batman grabbing the Diet Coke from Alfred and all kinds of stuff. It was super commercialized. And then, for him to come back, they let him have full reign, let him just run with his vision. And he certainly did. Gotham City doesn't even look like the same fucking Gotham in the first one. Because obviously the first one looked like 1920s noir fucking shit, which is cool too. But this one is... I don't know. And this one has full-blown Tim Burton-esque score in it. It doesn't take a break to show you some Party Man, you know, or Bat Dance.
Oh, man. Probably one of the best Danny Elfman scores. I had this for a long time, listened to it, loved it. It's just great, you know. Good stuff.
I love this score. I have it on CD. I found it at a thrift store one time. It was great. But it's so good, man. And it just really pops. And the costume design is great. All the little aesthetic things are great about it. Hey, Zach, we're about to get a glimpse of Chip, his son, Andrew Bernardsky, that fucking Gunnar Hansen hating motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's on the painting in the background with his dad.
Awesome.
He's like, "Dad, Mr. Mayor." He's going to come in. He kind of talks like he's slow in the head. Dad.
He might be in real life. Look at his IMDb picture. He looks retarded.
He's crazy, man.
What's the story with that actor?
Zach, you got to tell it, and you also got to tell him. I know the story you've told before, but you got to tell him how you got into a fight with him on Facebook.
Yeah,
but tell the story behind him and the Gunnar Hansen thing.
well, the Gunnar Hansen thing is like when Gunnar Hansen died. People were like, posting pictures like they always do of them with him at a con, and basically, I guess he was mad that he was getting all this news and shit. He's like, fuck him, fuck his dead nuts, or something like. What was it he said? He's like, suck his dead nuts.
I don't remember what he said.
He just went off on fucking.
That's cold.
Are you guys at the part where Chip just walked through the door?
Yeah.
Okay, I was afraid I skipped a little bit. Dad, Mr. Mayor.
But yeah, he was just shitting on the original Leatherface because he thought he was better, I guess. But then, people were like, what the fuck, man? But yeah, back when, a long time ago, I was in this group and I saw that they were posting a lot about, the remake or the prequel to the remake. They were like, yeah, I love Andrew Bernarski. He was great and shit. They were just sucking his dick. And I was just like, I had to be the party pooper. I was like, he's a fucking asshole. Fuck him. And then I get a like and it's from Andrew Bernarski. I didn't realize he was actually part of the group that was being commented on. Maybe he was tagged or something. I didn't realize it.
It's so funny how these actors, they become so possessive over their roles. If somebody else played the role, it's there's a tug of war going on between who is the best or who is the best in the role. They
But he IM'd you after that. It's not where it ended, Zach.
Well, that's not where it ended. Yeah, he just he sent me a personal message what the fuck? I didn't respond to him. I should have.
You should have, dude. Why did you not?
I don't know. I didn't know what to think. This guy might be
scared
crazy.
of him?
No, I'm not scared of him.
You're not scared? That's so funny, though, man. I love that story. It's just such a bitter thing. I love our idea about trying to get Andrew Bernarski on for a commentary, but we don't tell him which commentary, and it's the original Texas Chainsaw. Yeah. Hey, will you come on and do Texas Chainsaw with us? And it's the Gunnar Hansen one. What is it with the deal when they did that remake? What was everybody's obsession with remaking these characters but bigger and hulkier? They did the same thing with Tyler Mane and Michael Myers. Yeah. We got to make them huge. We got to make Jason huge in Freddy vs. Jason. We got to make Leatherface massive on steroids.
Yeah, I remember
the Jason thing. I
remember when that remake came out too. I watched the behind the scenes and I see Bernarski and he's just talking. And it's like, man, I told him, man, you gotta let me play Leatherface, man. I was born to wear the mask. That's how he talks.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's a fucking retard. And I was right, because looking at him on IMDb.
I guess I have to look at this picture that you keep talking about. Let me see what's up.
He actually looks like he just passed out drunk and somebody just made him open his eyes and took a picture real quick. They're like, you forgot to take a picture for your IMDb.
Well, he's kind of if you see him on Facebook, he's like a big biker guy. He's no longer this bodybuilder. He's kind of out of shape now and fat, like a beer gut beer drinking biker guy. Mm-hmm. He worships Black Label Society, listens to that kind of stuff, and he's really right wing, to the extreme, and just that type of guy.
He was talking about Pizzagate.
Well, of course he has to. Trying to look at this picture right now. Where are you at? Look how cool and wacky this is, man. I fucking love this. Look at where did this fucking circus gang get these high quality costumes, man? Look at those skulls that they're wearing.
They're down in the sewers, paper macheing for years, building up to this.
And do the clowns paint each other's makeup before they go out every day, or do they keep it on?
They're juggalos.
Look, it's the guy from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Really?
Yeah, it's the teacher.
Oh yeah,
Vargas.
Yeah,
Mr. Right. Vargas from the science class.
That guy pops up in a lot of movies.
Yeah,
man.
He's dead now. I always
remember him from Ghosts.
Yeah,
he's dead now. Righteous Bucks.
Righteous.
He was fun fact, that guy, Mr. Vargas, and the organ grinder there, he was also in a really shitty Sega CD /32X video game called Corpse Killer. It was a rail shooting zombie game where you shot these zombies, kind of like the T2 arcade game.
I remember that shit.
Yeah, I used to play it, and he was in all the cutscenes because back then it was all about FMV, the PC days and stuff.
I only remember the cover of it, the box, because my friend had a copy and we could never get to play on his system.
Yeah, I used to play
like
it, man.
Scratched and shit. I guess it makes sense that they don't focus on Batman so much because there's already more than one villain in the movie.
Yeah, and a lot of people think that's a problem. Like, people want them to go back to focusing on one villain. You could argue that they push all these villains to sell toys,
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that was a compromise.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was a
totally did.
compromise
Come
with
on.
this movie, though. Like, did
Oh, actually, looking into it though, it seemed like a lot of those toys were an afterthought because this movie was way too dark and sadistic to kind of market it the way it was made. So they just kind of retrofitted a bunch of old toys that kind of fit into the.
I remember hearing that, yeah.
Yeah, it's like parents were not happy with this movie. I think it's like PG-13 and almost got an R rating. It was so dark. I mean, it's a pretty sexual movie too.
Well, here's the thing. They were. I think a lot of people have claimed that that's the very reason why they didn't want him back for part 3, ultimately, and is because they gave him full reign and they didn't like how dark he made it because they couldn't fucking sell Happy Meals with it.
Yeah.
Well, dude, Tim Burton himself talks about how he's in a production meeting for the 3rd movie, and like he said, they were just like dropping hints left and right. They didn't want him to do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, you guys don't want me to do this movie, do you? And they're like, no. And he's like, yeah, I know what this is. He said, fuck it. And he just got up and walked out, And then he went on to, I think he did Ed Wood after this or something. Yeah. But
this is extremely dark. Think about it. It's about this guy, this grotesque penguin that vomits black fucking goo that wants to kidnap.
I think it's cum.
He wants to baby nap these fucking firstborn children and drown them. Yeah. Because he has daddy issues.
That's awesome.
Mommy daddy issues. He wants to drown children. And it's really dark, man. It's like the Pied Piper kind of fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good rendition of the penguin. It's odd for sure. I mean, it's maybe a little too dark. It's definitely not like following what the comics portray.
Oh, of course, he's not like some kingpin or whatever. He's just mutant, grotesque, fucking. I think it's great, man. I really, really want the giant NECA they have of the penguin. Yeah. From this, it looks incredible. I think they have 2 versions, and they have the one where he's in his pajamas at the end where he's got the black shit running down his chin. He's wearing his coat. I want that so bad. That guy right there, that guy in that clown makeup, he's the fucking guy from Renegade. That's Lorenzo Lamas' sidekick. That's a Corey G fucking thing right there.
Oh. You know what? What are they gonna stop fucking perpetuating, fucking giving into this bat appropriating their culture? I want to see a Batman movie played by a real bat. Or I'm boycotting. I'm offended.
We haven't evolved enough as a society yet to actually have animals in a lead role.
Exactly.
I'm still not over the fact that you were trying to tell me they wanted real monkeys to play the fucking gremlins in Gremlins.
Yeah, I read
That's
that.
weird.
Oh yeah, I heard that too. I know.
How
you guys,
often?
Man, you guys just dropped that Gremlins commentary. I'm fucking psyched to listen to it. I had a lot of fun. I did a commentary for it just by myself and had a blast. So I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about it. I mean, that's such a great movie.
Yeah.
That is definitely like one of my all-time favorites from my childhood.
I don't know how you do it by yourself. I would fucking run out of the. I did a drunken commentary by myself, and it's too bad to see the light of day.
He still wants me to listen to it, and I'm scared he's going to jerk off. That's all it is. Because he's doing fucking
Dude,
Edward Penis hands.
I didn't say my solo commentaries were any good. But
they good.
I have fun. That's the point. I have fun. That's all.
That's all.
I wanted to add another tidbit about that guy that already passed. But that clown that was in Renegade. He's a Native American. Obviously, you can tell by the makeup. But have you guys ever seen Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, look, there's the fucking Legend of the Hidden Temple guy.
Fuck you too, Zach. Yeah, that was Omac.
I had to say it, otherwise I didn't know if it'd show it again. What else was he
Okay,
in?
I'm going to move on from this topic, but I'll just say he was in that too. He was the guy in the pool hall that had a really cool line. If you guys probably don't remember that movie. I want to do a commentary of it badly.
I don't think I've seen that one yet. Maybe I'll have to check it out.
It's so good. Zach, we still have to do a commentary of Harley.
Yeah, it's a goofy ass movie.
It's such a B movie, but it's one of those B movies that wanted to be an A movie, and it wasn't a B movie by choice. It went to theaters, the whole deal. Don Johnson, Mickey Rourke. kind of fell in the B status, but it's so good.
It was before Mickey Rourke got the hot dog lips look.
Yeah, it was like in 91. It was 1990, I think. 1990, 91.
What did he do to his face?
Dude, it's so funny. I just saw Mickey Rourke in an episode of Dice on Showtime, and man, he looks rough. Like worse than Iron Man 2 rough. You know what I mean?
He's all skinny. He got all skinny, dropped down to like 60 pounds to try and fight again. Is he still skinny? Did he get in that show?
I don't know.
I've been wanting to watch that. Yeah, that movie again. The Wrestler, I mean.
The Wrestler's amazing.
Oh, I love that movie. Fantastic.
The Wrestler is maybe the greatest movie of the last decade. My favorite, I think.
Hey, you know the scene in The Wrestler where like he goes to that shitty venue to do like his first wrestling match in a while?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a dumpy old venue. That's actually filmed at a theater just like right down the street from my house.
Oh, wow.
From where I live.
That's neat, man.
Yeah. Here in Dover. Because they filmed a lot of that movie around here in New Jersey.
I love it because they're picking in backstage after that fight's over. They're picking the staples out of his back, and you just kind of looking down. You can tell he has tears in his eyes because it hurts so bad.
You should have tried to
That's good
sneak
stuff,
into
man.
the set and suck his hot dog lips.
I would have if I had lived here at the time.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I just think every scene in this movie is awesome. Every single scene I love. It reminds me of my childhood, and I love this movie. I was obsessed with this movie. I wanted all the toys. I never got to see it in theaters. My dad promised me he would take us, and he never did. But I loved it. I wanted McDonald's. They still, believe me, it didn't prevent Warner Brothers from still pushing it at McDonald's because they did. Yeah. And I remember they were selling all the cups, like the themed cups with the penguin and all this stuff on it, and the Catwoman, and of course you mentioned the McDonald's toys. But I mean, of course they were going to try and get their money, but I was obsessed with all of it.
Yeah, you know, if you and I had like 3 hours, Aaron, we could probably debate like which is better, 89 or 92. But I think it's just because 89 for me was my childhood, right? Because I was 12. And then for you, you're more of a 90s guy, right? Because you've kind of the 90s stuff is really what really hit you, the Turtles and this movie and whatnot. So
well, the Turtles was 80s, the cartoon. So I was born in the mid 80s. So yeah, I'd say I was predominantly a 90s kid because that's when I was coming of age. But my earliest memory is the original Batman. When I was 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I was 3 and 4 years old, we had a.
Oh, that's different though. I mean, come on. I mean, you're just a little kid. I mean, you're more maybe quite age appropriate for like dark Batman movie. I mean, I'm sure you remember it, but I'm just saying like it probably didn't like get into your psyche the way that this movie did when you're a little bit older.
It was just a couple years later, but I have a relationship with the original Batman too. So we had it. In 89, my grandmother actually bootlegged it. She brought her giant fucking hand cannon recorder into the theater and recorded it. And so we had so we watched that like crazy, and we watched it every day. We wore out that movie and Hook, like Infernally, I think, and Home Alone. We just and repeat just those same few movies. And then, of course, when it came out in VHS, she bought that for us too. She probably paid $90 for it. I think it still had a tag on it. It's like crazy how much they cost. But we watched that. I watched the original Batman probably 300 times before I ever saw this movie, and I loved it. I was obsessed with it. I was obsessed with it. I had the toys. I had the fucking toys as well. But there's just something about this movie as I get old. See, if you would have asked me this when I was 10, I don't know. I might have told you the first one was better. Maybe. But I kind of grew up with both of them. But I think now as an adult, I just respect this one because it's a director's movie. Like he did what he did. He did his job as a director. Like here, give us your vision. That's what a fucking director's supposed to do. Here's a script. Bam. But I love the first one too, man. Everything about the first one.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I really do wish that more directors today doing these hero flicks could do what Tim Burton does, which is really enact out their vision, have more control, and put something unique. Now it's just so homogenized, a formulaic thing that everybody's just trying to get the box office bucks, in the first weekend. And it doesn't, you don't see a lot of, except for maybe the most recent one was Deadpool that kind of had a unique vision to it, but... Everything else is just like, let's try to make it more like an Avengers movie. Let's try to make it more like that movie.
Deadpool is trying to follow the source material, which I respect that, being the way he is and violent. But this movie, man, super vision. Look at it. Penguin's holding a severed arm. He's holding a severed arm of Max Shrek's dead partner, and we just revealed that Max Shrek murdered his fucking partner. I mean, this is dark shit, man. It's crazy.
We're getting ready to see her become Catwoman.
Yeah, and this is a great scene too, man. To me, there is no filler scene in this movie. There really isn't. There's nothing that I would have edited out or taken out. Everything means something. This is every scene with her is great. And of course, we're going to come across the scene where it's her and Shrek and he pushes her out of the window, man. That scene is creepy. The tension in it is done so well.
Fucking Shrek shows up.
Donkey?
I mean, now, can you explain how she falls out of 15 million flights of 15 stories and slams to the ground? She's not fucking pavement splatter, and then cats nibble on her fingers and wake her up. I don't get that. That's kind of comic booky.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really apply any logic to anything like... I mean, that's a Tim Burton-esque thing. It's just, yeah, it's a chin scratcher. It's like, well... First of all, her brains will be splattered all over the pavement, and then all these like dirty alley cats come out and they just start licking her, and it's like, oh, that magically resurrects her into this like
and gives her 9 lives. I think they're like chewing on her fingers.
Totally different persona, yeah, like totally different persona, you know. I will say though, man, Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman was like my Farrah Fawcett, you know, like, man, I was just fucking.
My dick's gonna be out the rest of the movie.
All right, Corey G. But think about it, 1992, this is when Tim Burton was a dangerous director. Like, he was rebellious, right? He pulled this shit and did this. He's not that guy anymore. He sucks. He swings from Disney's fucking nuts all day long now, right? And Tim Burton and him haven't done work together in years either, because Tim Burton might as well have been an extension of him, right? They were a dream team that should have never stopped working together, you know. Now it's him and Johnny Depp that are a dream team, sadly.
Well, he filmed this movie right after Edward Scissorhands. So
yeah.
Depp was already on the radar at that point, and then he did Ed Wood right after this. So those two teamed up really, really early on. But I don't know, man. I'm curious to see what Burton's gonna do. I don't know if he's just being a producer or what, but they're doing Beetlejuice 2,
supposedly.
Which I don't know really needs to happen.
That's been back and forth for fucking 5 years now. Like, I mean, I get it. The script's been kicked around for many, many, many years, like Hawaiian style and shit, all that bullshit. But it's been reinvigorated ever since Dark Shadows came out, right? And that's been 5 years, something like that. And it was hot for a while, and then it kind of went cold, and then it kind of went like, oh yeah, Michael Keaton, yeah, we all want to do it. And then Tim Burton was saying, oh, if the script's good, and then they'd go back to Michael Keaton a couple years later, and he'd be like, you know, I haven't heard anything on it. I think it's cold. And then now, what is it, a few weeks ago, they announced that somebody else has been handed the script. I'm like, why is everybody excited and making headlines about that? That means they already handed it off to somebody else, and they wrote scripts and went over this for a few years, and they just abandoned it. Now they're starting new. Like, that's not a very good sign to me at all. It's like, great, we're just going to start fresh, and Tim Burton's not going to like it or whatever. I don't know.
I'd watch it.
So would I.
I'm curious to see it, man, but I don't. I think Beetlejuice is one of those movies that just doesn't need a sequel.
It doesn't need
to be.
You know?
I want to see Beetlejuice fucking Winona Ryder, though, in the sequel.
Well, and Winona Ryder is actually somewhat marketable now, so it kind of makes sense. Same thing with Michael Keaton, right? So the time commercially is now to strike the iron, but I just don't. Well, they can't put Jeffrey Jones in it. They'd have to have a new spinoff.
No, put him later in it. That'd be great.
No.
And give him a little kid sidekick that goes around with
Otho's dead. Otho's dead, and then Jeffrey Jones is Hollywood cancer. But no, I just think that it doesn't need a sequel, like what you said, Josh. And I think part of the charm of Beetlejuice is that, in a way, I mean, it's timeless, but it dates itself in its timelessness, because if they made a sequel, there's no stop motion, man. It's going to be all CG. It's just not going to be the same. Absolutely. It's not going to have that old flair that Beetlejuice had. That's great. It's just not. Michael Keaton will be fantastic. I mean, I think he's still got it all day long, but I don't know.
That's the Keaton.
Like I said, it'd just be curious to see it, but I don't know. I'm very skeptical of something like that. So just leave it alone, man. Let it die. Let it be what it is, you know?
Leave it alone. But if it does come out, I mean, I'm of the mind where I will not let it ruin the original. I won't, because it's been so long. It's impossible for a movie that gets a sequel 30 plus years later to really taint the original. The original is so old; it's its own thing. So if they release it, I'll enjoy it and I'll hope that it's good. Same thing with that shitty Ghostbusters movie. It didn't ruin the original fucking 2 Ghostbusters for me, and that movie's horrible. That new one, oh my god! But it is what it is.
Oh man, have you read the articles about Paul Feig's out there like blaming the fans for that movie tanking?
Yeah,
it's like that movie tanked because that fucking script sucked dick, and it was comically bad. How like the cheesy effects and the bad humor in it.
It was not funny at all.
Dude, no chemistry at all in the characters. What a piece of shit.
Are you that dumb to not know that, like, so much about what made the first movie work was the cast? And then just being like, the cast ain't coming back, like, right away. People are like, well, then it's not a very good idea, Ghostbusters. It's all about the cast.
I mean, I read that he was saying that the sort of hype and the girl power and the sexism thing kind of killed the movie. He wasn't exactly turning his nose to it when that was what they were talking about building up to it. You know, like maybe it could have worked. I don't think he'd be saying the same thing if it worked for the movie, right? And everybody turned out. But it wasn't good. If it was a great movie, it probably would have went that way. Like, oh yeah, girl power, it's great. You guys are all, sexist pigs. If it was good. But dude, you can't fucking mask shit with name calling. It's garbage. It's absolute trash.
And it was over 2 hours long. Why?
It's so long.
Dude, I made it 3/4 of the way through and I walked out and got a refund. I mean, I couldn't take it. It was so bad. I was like, this is not.
They gave you a refund?
Fuck this. Yeah. I was like, walked to the girl behind the counter, some teenager. And I was like, look, this movie really sucks. Like, Can I at least get a ticket for another movie? And so, and she was nice. She's like, yeah, sure. And I went and saw BFG instead, which is another Spielberg stinker, but it was better. I sat through that movie.
I saw that poster and I'm like, is this called Big Fucking Guy? Did Spielberg just call a movie Big Fucking Guy? That's awesome.
Is that what it's supposed to be?
I don't know.
I was thinking BFG from Doom, the big fucking gun.
But that's what the poster shows. It shows a kid and then like a giant where you just see the feet and then the person's out of the picture. So I was like, it's a big fucking guy.
Is it not really sexy to watch her chug that milk and it drizzle down her chin like cum?
Oh, totally, dude. I was thinking about that.
And she's like, just look at her and it's quenching her thirst and she was just laying there. Ugh.
I want to see her taking a fucking milk shower like Limp Bizkit in that music video.
Dude, it was drizzling down her face like a horse cock raining on her.
Oh yeah.
Gallon of milk being unloaded onto her face.
Do you know they sell dildos that are molded after horse cocks?
It doesn't surprise me. Now, is the horse getting paid for their mold? Are they getting any kind of royalties?
Yeah, they probably don't even get consent from the horse.
Why would you need a horse? All you have to do is get a regular dick and just make it bigger.
Yeah.
Like, all those dildos you buy, they're not real size dicks. They take a real dick, mold it, and they make it like 5 times bigger. Like, you've seen those hogs they use in the movies, man? No guy has a fucking 10-pound hog. That's ridiculous.
Hopefully.
And if you both have 10-pound hogs and I just outed myself, I take back everything I said.
Imagine if that was your job, like just fucking molding horse cocks all day.
That wouldn't be bad.
I can imagine that pays well.
Probably not. It's probably like slave labor in China.
I can imagine you could mold one horse cock and be done and just replicate it. Why would you be going through like a different variety of horses? Mm-hmm. Like, this one's good.
You want the stallion cock? The pony? You got it.
This scene's awesome, man. It's a pretty good breakdown scene. I like it.
Yeah, it's a little corny, but what? I mean, Of
course it's corny.
Don't you dare say this is corny, baby.
She just.
I'm a little bit more critical of this at 40 than I was at like 14, so to be expected.
I always like how they just make their suits just like themselves.
She made it in 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's like, you think like she would have I would have went to a BDSM store and got just a fucking leather suit.
They were saying that she went through like 60 of these suits in the production of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like just wore them out or something,
How did she get I don't know. How'd she make those into claws? How did she make the ears?
She's good.
She's very good. She's into her work. Look at her.
She kind of has like a like this scene could have been inserted into one of the Pet Sematary movies. You wouldn't even notice.
See, what is that? Why is there a thimble with that fucking sharp thing on it? Is that like a real tool I'm unaware of? Or was she like some murderer before and she already had this stuff? I'm confused. Because look at that. Look at that. That was already made.
She good.
Anybody out there that's into sewing maybe knows, but...
She was planning this already, and she just happened to fall down, and is like, "Oh, it's time for me to do Plan B."
I don't know about you, Miss Kitty, but I feel so much yummier.
Oh yeah, dick's out for Catwoman.
You know she has a lot of fart bubbles shooting up her back in that thing.
Probably.
I mean, it just looks all kinds of uncomfortable.
It probably took hours to get on, too.
I bet you when they unzip her and they get that thing off, it smells like a big fart once they open it. Like, oh, God.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, apparently they vacuum sealed that shit onto her.
Oh, I'm surprised.
So I'm sure they were vacuuming out the ass when they were, vacuum forming.
Oh,
it.
yeah. I know what you mean when you say this is a claustrophobic movie, but even how packed the scenes are, I think the cinematography is great, man. These shots are beautiful. I love these shots. Oh, this guy right here that's going to take the baby. I always thought it was Ugg from Slit Your Shorts. Listen to his voice. Listen to his voice. He sounds just like fucking Ugg. And I used to look, and this is before IMDb, so I could never find out, but I swore, so I just assumed, and I was telling everybody, yeah, it's Ugg. That's Ugg.
And then they found out it wasn't. They're like, he's a fucking liar.
20 years later, they're calling me up, like, fuck you.
You tell me that was Ugg.
I like how dumb and gullible these people are. Like, the penguin just shows up right after, ready to go. He's got the kid. They really buy into this whole fucking thing.
They're stupid.
How come nobody's going in after the fucking kid? That's what I'm wondering. They're just looking down the manhole.
They're like, well, it's dead.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
Sorry to hear about your baby.
The way you're rising like on a platform seems really planned and organized and choreographed. As if you were down there waiting for Ugg.
Nobody's interested in finding the guy who stole the baby in the first place at all. He just...
Yeah,
whatever. Let Batman take care of it later.
Yeah, it's a good point. I never thought about that as a kid. Man, I know he's rich and all. Does he really have to have fucking Alfred decorate the tree? You think he could pay someone else to do that? Like professionals? Why is he having that old fucking man do everything?
He's too busy watching TiVo, man.
Yeah.
Dude, that fireplace, I swear to God, it's about the size of my apartment. It's fucking huge.
Nice.
Yeah, he needs a bigger TV, man. That's all I gotta say. For as much money as he's got. This is like what? The first time we've seen Michael Keaton? No, we saw him when he stood up at the beginning of the movie. We've seen Michael Keaton's face twice. We've seen him as Batman once. And how long are we into this movie?
I know.
We're 36 minutes in.
It's really skimpy with the Batman Bruce Wayne stuff. Well, there's a little bit more Bruce Wayne, I think, coming after maybe like the second half of the movie.
Of course.
Have you ever watched any interviews with Michael Keaton about these movies? He's just very dismissive of them, like... I think he did this movie to be able to get some money together to buy some real estate or something. Like, he's just not into the Batman thing at all.
I don't recall that. He's been nothing but pro Batman ever since he came back.
I'm talking about back in the day.
Okay.
When he's still like a hot actor. Now, he has a resurgence in his career and stuff. And I think he's kind of accepted it and is having fun with it, But back in the day, if you watch those old 90s interviews with him and stuff, he's just like, whatever. I just, it sucked. I didn't like it. And he just talks about how, the whole thing, filming these movies was just so, completely ridiculous, and...
He was still going to do the third one. He turned down a massive paycheck because the script sucked. Obviously, Tim Burton walking away didn't help. But I guess, even with Joel Schumacher intact, they were still talking to him, but the script was just garbage. Mm-hmm. And I guess what they say is he turned down a $15 million paycheck, which in 1994, probably when they were offering that to him, even 93, was fucking huge.
That could have bought a lot of blow.
I didn't know he used to bang Michelle Pfeiffer before this movie. But anyway, yeah, what was the role the movie ended up doing after this movie?
Multiplicity.
Because it seems like shit.
He did like Multiplicity in like 95 or 96. I don't know. I like Multiplicity.
I like it too. I just said the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah. That's a perfect movie for him too. That is a good movie, but you just don't ever think about watching it.
Oh, I've watched it like 20 times. I love it. It's great. I mean, it's good for an actor too, especially, he's got a comedic background and he gets to sit there and portray these different versions of himself. It's perfect. It's such a fun movie. And plus,
dude, I saw Gung Ho in the theater with my mom.
I love Gung Ho. I love that movie.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's fucking great. He to save the factory, these Asians come in and buy it, and it's great. Goodness, their small town. It's a really fun movie.
And Michael Keaton's in it.
He's the star. It's great.
Yeah,
you guys ever seen
it tanked it?
You guys ever seen Jack Frost?
Of course.
Oh yeah,
with Henry Rollins, starring Henry Rollins.
That movie's orgasmic.
Yeah, it's.
Are you guys fans of the Birdman? Did you guys like Birdman? Won an Oscar, I think, or something.
I didn't know what to think about it. I was kind of polarized after I watched it. I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it either.
I didn't hate it, but it's not a movie I can watch again, I don't think.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of movie he needed, man. He needed an artsy-fartsy project to kind of come back, and he needed an Oscar bait. So, I don't know.
Did you like that one, Josh?
I did. I enjoyed it a lot, but there's not a lot of rewatchability in it. I mean, it's great acting. And it's an artistic piece in terms of filmmaking, but, it's not something you want to...
Yeah.
I'm not going to rush out and buy a DVD of it. I'm glad it won, and, doing all the long shots, the long takes or whatever was really cool. And it was cool to see him come back and then, do some interesting stuff. And it was a compelling movie, but it was just, I don't own it, and I don't want to,
He could have had Mickey Rourke syndrome, all these guys that are in the Best Picture, nominated for the Best Picture, whatever. They're huge for 5 minutes, then they make the mistake of taking every project that they're offered and they're dead again in 2 years. Now, like Mickey Rourke or whoever, but Michael Keaton, he sort of defied that. First of all, it did win Best Picture, so good for him. But he was in 2 Best Pictures back to back. Then he was in Spotlight the next year, which kind of solidified him. Okay, it's more than a fluke. You kind of got your cred back,
Yeah.
I think he did RoboCop somewhere in between there.
He did that before. He had started to kind of come back where he was in support roles, right? He was starting to show up, and he was in that movie The Other Guys as like the police captain, but not the star. So he was kind of like coming. I don't know. Mickey Rourke did the same thing. Mickey Rourke was starting to pop up again in movies like Sin City and what's it called? What's that? Once Upon a Time Mexico. He was popping up in there, but
yeah,
I don't know. They could only afford one Tombstone.
I heard that flick that Keaton did about the McDonald's founder is pretty good. I think it's called The Founder.
Yeah,
actually.
I watched it a month ago or so. It was good.
Yeah,
I'd say it was a really cool watch. I don't know if I can call it great or amazing. But then again, I don't know how. I think that's the source material's fault. I think it's as good as the source material could have made it, because it's not like they could have fabricated and made fucking Ray Kroc a murderer to make it more exciting. But it's basically like a movie like the Social Network, where they just sort of paint the picture of Ray Kroc and how scummy he was to get where he is. It's an interesting movie because Michael Keaton, his arc in the movie, because he starts off the picture extremely likable. He's a down and out salesman looking for his big break, and he's so likable. And then over the course of the movie, you grow to hate him. Like, wow, you're so disgusting, because he's such a shrewd businessman, and he sells and he fucking cheats these people. So he does a fantastic job, because what he gets to do as an actor. And they thought it was a huge crime that they didn't get to submit that. They were basically, somebody fucked up in their camp and was late submitting the shit to the Oscar noms to campaign for it. And it just didn't get any recognition. And it was all just somebody in their camp fucked up. But he could have been a three-peat, man.
He's like, I made that McDonald's shit for no reason. I ain't gonna get no Oscar.
He did a great job in it.
Usually they play a retarded person to get an Oscar. Really easy.
Never go full retard, though.
Yeah. Dude, real quick, he could play Mr. Krabs if they ever made a live action SpongeBob movie.
But they have to overdub his voice with fucking Clancy Brown, man.
Yeah.
You got to give it to him. No, did you know that the coolest tidbit about this is, and I'm sure Josh, you've been reading about the movies, you know, is that Robin was going to be in this movie, right? And that's super fascinating, and I'll tell you guys about that. So, and Tim Burton was going to have Robin in it, so much that he even cast it and everything. But of course, by the end of the script and the end of the movie, with all the villains and everything, he felt like, okay, it's too cluttered for Robin. Yeah. And knowing Tim Burton was going to do the third one at the time, he pushed it off and was going to introduce Robin in the sequel, played by fucking Marlon Wayans.
Marlon Wayans?
I know, that's such a... yeah.
Marlon Wayans was cast.
Yeah, I don't know if that would have worked, man. That might have been like a stretch too far, you know what I mean? Like, I like Marlon Wayans just fine, but... I don't know, man. Like,
that might have changed his career dramatically to be in such a big movie.
Oh, yeah.
He would have been in such a big movie at a very young stage in his career. You know? But so Marlon Wayans, that would have been weird. It would have been cool because it's like, wow, man, he's doing the whole racial swap early in the game before it was cool to do it. So that would have been different, but it also would have been really weird at the time. Like, can you imagine in 1992, like them trying to make the boy Wonder black? I mean, let's be honest, it would have been weird at the time. But still, he cast him. I want to say I've seen pictures. I think there's pictures floating out there with him in a costume. I think
really, yeah.
He was cast. He was fitted. He was ready to go. It was all ready to go. And since they made the conscious effort to ditch him at the last minute, they weren't going to screw him. They're like, we're just going to put you in the third movie. Like, this movie's just we're too cramped. So because they never made the third movie, and Marlon Wayans was still contracted, to this day, he still gets paid for this movie because he was supposed to be in it.
Really?
He still gets paid.
Really,
yeah. Mm-hmm. So he was going to be in this movie, and to basically not feel like they're fucking him over. Like, look, Tim Burton's like, you're going to be in the third one. We just don't feel like it will help the movie. You'll have much more of an opportunity to shine in the third movie. And this was before, obviously, things went sour and he didn't end up doing the third movie. But because they made him wait for the third movie that never happened, he still gets fucking paid for this movie. He still gets checks. Isn't that great?
You know what? Now that I think about it, dude, if I would actually take Marlon Wayans over fucking Chris O'Donnell any day.
I would. It would be so weird. That's one thing, though.
Chris O'Donnell's like a mannequin with a pulse, man. You know?
Isn't that weird? So besides Billy D. Williams, you don't see black people in the Tim Burton Batmans.
Mm-hmm.
You don't.
Well, Billy D. Williams was actually supposed to be in this movie, and something happened, and they fused his character. Somehow got turned into Max Schreck, and Billy D. got asked out of this movie. Man, that's
same thing. Same
dude,
thing.
I would much rather have Billy D. than
Walken
in this movie, because Walken gives a really fucking boring performance.
Oh, you're crazy. Man. I fucking love Walken. Are you crazy? I love Christopher Walken in this movie.
Dude, I think Chris Walken is an incredible actor, but he just falls flat in this movie, man. Like,
I don't think so. See, I was telling you at the beginning of the movie that I think he's every bit as good as the Penguin and Catwoman as a villain. People say there's two villains. There's three villains. Now, I get it. They wrote him for this movie. He never existed before this movie, so maybe that takes a little bit of legitimacy away from it, but I don't think so. I think he's great. Obviously, they named him after the actor of Nosferatu, Max Schreck, homage. But I think he's so good, and he's crucial. I don't remember why because he was supposed to be Harvey Dent. I don't remember why they didn't make him Harvey Dent. But I remember it was some sort of a similar situation with the Robin thing where we're going to bring you back for the third one. It's not going to work, but we're going to bring you back. And of course, he got the pooch when everything fell sour with Warner Brothers. But you're right. At the end of the movie, when Catwoman electrocutes him while kissing him, that was supposed to be Two-Face, and that was supposed to give him the second face. Yeah.
Well, apparently they were rewriting this shit until the very last scene. Like, even that fucking very last scene with Catwoman is just a tack on that they added on at the very end. I mean, they just, and they were just figuring out as they went along. And I think it was all Tim Burton approved. But, I mean, I would have rather had some Billy D any day of the week. I mean, it's fucking Lando. I mean,
that last scene, that tack on scene where she's looking at the moon, I don't even think that was Michelle Pfeiffer playing her just behind the back. Probably wasn't.
No, they said they just pulled the suit out of, because it was after production and wrapped, and they just pulled a suit out of fucking cotton, out of the fucking mop balls and threw it on some actress and just wasn't her at all. But I don't even know that woman's. She must be credited somewhere, right? I didn't bother to look.
Probably like a stand-in or something.
Yeah, just some random actress or something. But
yeah, I'm not sure. I just can't believe it's hard for me to imagine Billy Dee in this movie, I guess. And you know, I'm not a Star Wars fan, so fuck Lando personally. I get your attachment to. I'm not really a fan, but I'm a bigger fan of Christopher Walken, because what else does Billy Dee Williams have besides, you know, playing Lando and then maybe Barry Gordy in those fucking Michael Jackson movie thing. But I don't know. I think he's great in this. I don't know what you're smoking, but yeah, it really, really does cheapen Billy Dee Williams' appearance in the first one, because now if it did do what it was supposed to do and it just planted the seed for him to become Two-Face and evolve that character, it would have made all the sense in the world that he had the role that he did in the first one. But now it's just like, what? Okay, Black Harvey Dent's here for like 2 scenes and he's gone. Oh, that's kind of a waste, you know.
Who was the chick that played Batgirl in the third movie?
Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah.
Horrible.
oh god, that wrecked her career, man. That ended it for her. You know, that was it.
Now she chews up food and spits it in her kid's mouth.
Oh yeah,
I saw that.
I remember that. What is that story again?
That's so fucking gross, man. That's so disgusting.
I guess she bird feeds her kid.
That's funny, man.
Yeah. I guess that was like some weird old practice that people used to do like back in the day or something. And
yeah,
I don't know. It's just creepy Hollywood actress thing to do. It's like, why would you? Oh my God. I mean, there's baby food out there. Why would you do that? It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Nasty.
I don't want him to choke on anything.
I always thought that skinned fish looked really good. I don't know why. When Penguin was eating it, it looks good. I don't know why. And look at his ass. That looks good too. Penguin in this movie has an ass like Station from Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
I think they're the same
apparently
guy.
that was real. He really ate that fish, man. Like it was real.
Oh yeah.
Some real sushi.
I know what you mean now. Yeah. I remember thinking the same thing as a kid. Like, what is it? I remember thinking like not knowing what it was he was eating.
He didn't really.
I didn't think it looked fucking good though.
No. You gotta roll that shit up in some rice for me. You know what I'm saying?
I thought you were gonna say you gotta roll it up in a blunt and smoke it. A fatty boobatti
yeah. So
blunt.
here comes Danny DeVito's dirty fucking line.
Mm-hmm.
The filler void line, man. Even as a kid, I was like, ugh.
Oh, he's raunchy. I love that his entire motive in this movie, not only he's sexual frustration, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
He's horny, he's sexually frustrated. He's basically like Belial with legs.
Yeah.
You think he ever like fucked a fish or something? Or
I'm sure
maybe he fucking rear-ended a penguin or something.
I'm sure he fucked a fat clown or two. Like, I mean, why he's their leader. I mean, they must look up to him.
That's true. I mean, he does have a posse, and I think there's maybe 1 or 2 girls in there.
He's got a clown posse. He's a fucking juggalo. I told you. I always
that chick's on SNL.
Oh yeah. I always really liked Danny DeVito.
He's a good sport, man. You know, he just took lemons and made lemonade. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I always thought he was
the guy's. I mean, he's basically a fucking troll, you know, and he like made a pretty good. I love them in Twins, man.
I love that, man. I
Schwarzenegger
love Twins.
Oh, it's so underrated. Ivan Reitman, fucking like brilliant comedy, man. It's just so good.
Look at that fucking scene. He bites his nose. Look how dark and scary that is. That is scary to a kid. And nobody's charging him. Nobody's arresting him. Tackling him to the ground.
Yeah.
So crazy. Nobody's wondering why he's wearing a fucking... It looks like he's got a diaper full of shit on underneath that dirty ass bit. It's just like nobody cares.
I always
he's got a clit tickler for a nose.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I always like the movies he directed too, like Throw Mama from the Train and Matilda.
Yeah. Did you know he didn't initially want to do this movie?
Really?
He wasn't initially taking the bait for the movie. He was hesitant, like, but his good friend Jack Nicholson told him, you need to take it, because Jack Nicholson had made a record amount of money and he had made revolutionary back end deals for this movie, you know, because he got some money, but he took back end on the merchandising, and that had never been done at the time. And I think it was quoted that he made about $50 million by the time it was all said and done. And so
yeah, he's like, you got to get some of that Batman money for sure.
Yeah, he's like, are you crazy? Take it. He didn't get the same deal Jack Nicholson did, and he didn't make. Obviously, this movie wasn't quite the same as the first one, but that was the notion of taking the role. Like, dude, fucking, I took him to the cleaners. You need to do it too. Was Jack Nicholson really bitter?
Go ahead, man.
Well, I was just saying, was Jack Nicholson really... I had read when Heath Ledger had come out with the Joker that Jack Nicholson... I don't know if these are real quotes, if they were fake news, but I had read some quotes that Jack Nicholson was kind of like... that offended that they didn't even ask him to like reprise his role in the Nolan Batman. Like, you mean old-ass 70-year-old Jack Nicholson? Was that true?
That sounds like bullshit to me.
He's like, why would anybody think that?
I don't think Jack Nicholson would give a fuck, dude. Seriously. You know, I mean, I'm sure he was glad to be done with it, you know? I mean, besides, those two characters are so different. I think actually Joker was supposed to be in this movie, got squeezed out too, right? Or
he was
actually
dead.
Maybe Burton didn't want to continue the story, you know, right after or something.
But he was dead at the end of the first one.
Yeah, there was some chatter I read about where they were contemplating it or something.
Yeah, you know, Jason was dead at the end of the first Friday the 13th too.
They just need to electrocute him, get him shocked by lightning.
Right.
They should have had him being dug up.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Hey, real quick though. Speaking of Danny DeVito, did you guys see that documentary Jim and Andy yet?
Oh, I'm looking forward to watching
I saw
that,
it though.
yeah.
I saw it on Netflix.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, man. I will say that Jim Carrey is fucking off as a rocker, man. He's you just watch it, you'll be like, man, this guy's a fucking asshole.
I'll have
through
to
the whole
watch
production
it.
of that movie. Yeah,
He's been super interesting lately.
It's an interesting, actually more of a human interest piece than a documentary about that movie.
Yeah, I heard he was going out of his way to stay in character the entire shooting of the movie.
So you think that's why he was all wacky in the press?
That's how they made it look like in the trailer. All I've seen of the documentary is a trailer.
Going back on this movie for a second, right at the very start of the scene when that guy, that looks like Ving Rhames. I thought he looked like Ving Rhames with a Stinger missile. That's what I was gonna say. That's all I got.
But the whole time, there's maybe that was the Penguin squeeze right there, that chick. But no, I mean, the whole time I was watching that documentary, I was thinking about you guys. I was like, oh man, these guys would love this. It's like right up your alley.
I really want to watch it. That might be something I can watch.
You know what? I don't even know who the fuck Andy Kaufman is.
Oh, dude, you know Andy Kaufman? He was in Taxi, briefly SNL. He was super. I don't know, as about as avant-garde as a comedian as you could get. He was super wacky. Yeah. He wasn't for anybody but himself, and he was a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people, but in a lot of ways he was a genius, man.
I never watched Taxi or anything.
When he would slip into character, he would go all in and he'd be this character. Have you watched like the documentaries? There's a lot of Andy Kaufman documentaries out there, and I love when they talk to the cast of Taxi, how he would come in as his alter ego and he would not break. And is it what is his alter ego's name? Like Tony Clifton or something? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's Tony Clifton. Yeah.
Okay, so he literally said, okay, you know, they'd be talking to Judd Hirsch and Tony Danza, and they'd be like, yeah, he'd come in and he'd be like, hey, can I get a role for my good friend Tony Clifton? Like talking to him like he's a real guy, like just a bit role, something, trying to pull some strings, and like, okay, yeah, and he got him a role, and then so
that the day of shooting comes, fucking genius.
In the day of shooting comes, Tony Clifton shows up, and it's fucking Andy Kaufman in makeup and body. What the fuck? And he's not acknowledging it. We're just all looking at each other like, okay. And he went the whole fucking day acting like Tony Clifton, fucking up his lines, being an asshole. And it just never broke. It never broke. And then when he'd show up as Andy Kaufman or whatever the next day, it just never happened.
What if he was a fucking schizo and it was a cry for help, baby?
He was so crazy. And then he had the whole Jerry the King Lawler thing when he was mixing with wrestling, doing the call out shit on Letterman's show. I mean, he was a pioneer, man. He was wacky.
Oh yeah, I mean, he was very unconventional and stuff, and I mean, he would have made a bigger impact on the. I guess in Hollywood in general, if he lived a little bit longer, you know, but he got cut short. So
yeah, he's one of those guys that maybe was at the wrong time.
Yeah,
it's too bad that that movie Man on the Moon wasn't better.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's just okay.
It's okay.
It's just okay.
It didn't really. Yeah, it's okay. Just kind of like a boring Jim Carrey movie.
I always hear people shit on Jim Carrey's serious roles, but I always thought like, I guess they're talking about Man on the Moon, but I always considered like Truman Show a serious role that was good.
And the Majestic.
Truman Show was interesting and stuff. I mean, I have to give Jim Carrey some credit for trying some different shit where he could have been like typecast. He could have been
fucking
easily,
Adam Sandler of his time, and he wasn't.
And well, everybody jerks off Eternal Sunshine. I don't see it. I don't understand it. Like, I watched it once. I kind of thought it was whatever, and I've never seen it again.
Well, dude, that might be the most depressing movie you'll ever watch in your life. Like, when I watched it, I was like, man, I want to slip my wrist right now, you know?
Yeah. I kind of feel that way with Requiem for a Dream, too. Speaking of Marlon Wayans coming back around. That movie I don't like that movie either because it just fucking depresses me. I'm like, what? I don't like it.
Yeah, I still have not seen that movie, man. I don't know why.
It's not a fun watch. And it's not a depressing watch to where it's enlightening or fun. There's just nothing about that movie I like. So I'm not an Aronofsky fanboy. I think he's made just as many not so good movies for me, but he made Wrestler and things like that. And I like Black Swan, but you know, he's kind of hit and miss as far as what I like. I don't have a desire to watch that Jennifer Lawrence movie. Can't fucking stand her.
I can't wait to watch that.
Can't stand her either, man.
Can't stand her. Dude, she must, I mean, I'm not dogging whatever that she has that people seem to gravitate towards, but it's not acting talent because she's not the best actor out there. And she phones in so many performances and she's just got this annoying punchable face. And I don't mean that literally like I want to punch a woman, but it's just derpy. She looks like, I just can't stand her, man. I'm tired. And they're beating her down. I'm tired of seeing her everywhere. She's
from my hometown, Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah, and I don't know, man. I was like rooting for her. I mean, I liked her when she was a little bit more innocent, and when she was doing, you know,
the Bill Engvall show.
What's that?
The Bill Engvall show. That's where she got her start. The fucking TBS Bill Engvall show.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, like his daughter.
I'm only familiar with her like movie career, but
Bill Engvall.
When she started becoming like this really arrogant Hollywood actress, I was like, I'm out. Like, I can't stand it. Like, after she won her Oscar and like fucking Nicholson, there's another circular thing. But Nicholson's like hitting on her and shit. She just, after that, she seemed to start getting really like, I don't know.
She's too big for her britches.
Condescending and, you know.
You know who else is from Louisville? Is it called Louisville or Louisville?
Whatever.
It's Louisville.
Yeah, I've heard people like, it's called Louisville, you fucking idiot. And I'm like, it's spelled Louisville. I can see why they don't know. But who was the other chick that was hot? That came from there.
I don't know. I used to live in Danville, Kentucky, Josh.
Ashley Judd. She was hot for a while.
Oh, yeah. We also have Tom Cruise, one of ours as well. So I guess we get all the wacky actors.
There's a connection there, so I'll use that as a segue. So Tarantino scared me, and he might still be, but his front runner that he was courting was Jennifer Lawrence for his supposed final movie, and I'm like, fuck, man, please.
That's not gonna be his final movie.
I know he says that now.
He's gonna be like Kevin Smith. He's not gonna. He's gonna be like, shit, or get off the pot, fucker.
Quote. I'm just quoting him, but I agree with you. But regardless, he's going for her. I'm like, man, what a way to make me not watch the movie. And you know what? He's put people in his movies that I wasn't a fan of before, and the movie was so good that I appreciated and I actually liked the actor in it. So who knows? But now the male lead he's courting and he's in talks with is Tom Cruise. I'm like, my fucking God. Like what a way to definitely make me not go see your movie.
Tom Cruise is a crazy man. He could play fucking Charles Manson.
Dude, I don't know. Did
you ever see that Oprah Winfrey video?
Those are literally...
I think that maybe I don't know, man. Like, if you look at something like Rain Man, which is a really fucking great movie, I mean, he can pull off some chops, but he's just become this action star. You know, after the 80s, he's just, I mean, did you see fucking The Mummy? It's just, like, he phoned that shit in, man. It was horrible.
Who becomes an action star in their 50s all of a sudden?
Yeah.
And Liam Neeson, who becomes an action star in their 60s?
Tom Cruise and Liam Neeson, apparently.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for Corey G to finally listen to one of these podcasts and be like, this fucker coughed my whole style.
I know.
I still got to figure out what this Corey G bullshit's all about.
We'll have to send you a link to one of our old podcasts that he's on, and you'll know exactly what we're talking about. 'Cause I listened to your Friday 3 commentary, and I died laughing when your third host said that. When he called that out, he's like, you sound a little bit like Corey G. I rolled. I was in my car dying laughing.
Oh, Andy. Yeah, Andy. That was such a weird thing because that was not planned at all. And like, I guess Andy was familiar with some of the stuff Zach had done in his earlier podcasting or something, and I was just like, what's happening right now?
It's just so funny because me and Zach are in on the joke, so it's like him when you died laughing when he said that, I was dying laughing in the car as if I was in the room too. It's just great. So you're clearly doing a fucking bang up job at that impersonation.
You know what's funny is I don't even try to do it all the time. I just notice I do it.
But it's just art imitating life because he's just trying to mimic Steven Seagal, so it's all good.
So now that Ben Affleck's out as Batman, who's going to replace him? You got any predictions? You got any?
Well, is he?
Pauly Shore.
Well, he's always going to say the Shore, but you know, I don't know. I know Jake Gyllenhaal's the front runner, but I'm so tired of Batman.
Oh, dude, that would be fucking terrible. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they're talking to him. They're talking to him, I guess.
No, that would be a huge mistake.
He looks just too much like Jake Gyllenhaal in that cowl. You could see him like that's just Jake Gyllenhaal. I think they should go back and they should fix their mistake from the first time around and finally give the role to Mel Gibson. Yeah.
Yeah, but he'd have to shave his beard though.
He'd have to shave his beard, and I'm pretty sure he's got some old man neck gobbler fat too.
Just leave the beard. He could be like the hobo Batman, like the hobo Michael Myers.
Mel Gibson was the first pick for Batman. They could go and give it to the second pick for the original Batman, Alec Baldwin. He'd have to lose a lot of weight.
No, go with Stephen Baldwin.
The superior Baldwin?
Yeah.
Maybe it could be the Eddie Furlong comeback movie.
Hell yeah. And he could do the whole soundtrack.
Oh my god, dude, that fucking Eddie Furlong. I didn't know he did music too. Like,
oh, he did do music.
Beat shit. Oh my god, dude, that shit cracked me up so hard. I was like, man, this sounds like something from South Park. It's so bad. It was like,
that's so funny because wait till you listen to the Gremlins. We've got Eddie Furlong all over that bitch.
Oh, nice.
Because we were talking
like, man,
about it.
It sounded like somebody do it, like him listening to him sing. This is back in his heyday, apparently, like in the early '90s or something. But listening to him sing, it sounded like somebody doing a character. It was just so. I almost felt bad. It was like,
it only came out in Asia.
Yeah,
clearly,
it only came out in like Korea.
It only came out in Japan, Korea, Philippines, and that's how you have to import the album. But yeah, it was just a cash grab. It literally sounds like he's singing like karaoke over the pre-recorded audio. It sounds like somebody's already playing like a CD and he's just humming it really bad in his room. And it's horrible, man. But it's so great. I can't believe Todd Riverman bought the album he bought the album on the podcast. He ordered it. He was unfamiliar with this, and he was quite pleased with what he heard, and he couldn't say no.
At the end of the last one on the Gremlins, I put a sound clip of him going to Korea and doing this like interview, and it was the weirdest thing.
What? Is he talking about the music?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
What? Where did you find that?
It's on YouTube, but it ends with the goofiest fucking thing. Like,
were they really trying to make him a thing in Asia?
Yeah,
like a music thing, like Justin Bieber.
He had a bunch of fans there.
What?
Yeah, it's funny.
It's so ridiculous. I get it. Maybe that explains why they tried to push him as a star. We got to make an album. You're really big in Japan. Mm-hmm. Cue the Alphaville song. But yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Japan.
All right.
That was the Tom Waits song.
I was thinking Alphaville, the guy.
Tom Waits, the inspiration for the Joker, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, for the Heath Ledger version, I should say.
Yeah, where he's kind of like twitchy and weird.
Yeah, I guess Heath Ledger channeled the Tom Waits voice for the Joker, which I think was really fucking effective.
What's he building in there?
The kind of grizzled voice.
Yeah, he's a character, man. This is the only daylight scene in the movie, I think. Oh wait, no, I guess
it is
when the penguin rescued the baby. That was daylight too, I think, right? Or was that night?
I don't fucking know. Why are you asking me shit?
I'm just asking whoever. She looks really good though, man. Michelle Pfeiffer in this scene looks great.
Oh man,
I'd Michelle her Pfeiffer.
I mean, Batman blows it.
Dude, they had so many people like vying for this role for Catwoman.
Oh, the Sean Young one's notorious when she went on fucking like Ricky Lake or something.
Dude, they totally should have given her the role, I think. I mean, she would have been great in this role as well, if you ask me. I mean, Sean Young back in her heyday, gorgeous. And she's a pretty good actress, I think.
Yeah, she's crazy as fucking a box of cats.
I always thought Sean Young and the chick from Big were the same person.
Oh, Elizabeth Perkins. They have a similar look.
Yeah, no, I totally get where you're coming from there, but I was really, it's funny to go back and watch her in, like, say, Ace Ventura, where she's...
Finkel, Einhorn.
Yeah, pretty much embarrassing herself at the end of the movie. It's like, ooh, that's bad.
Oh, that's great. I would fuck that chick.
Zach, did you want to suck her ass dick?
Yes.
Her ass balls.
Ass balls. That's so funny, man. But but have you seen that notorious clip of her? Was it on Phil Donahue? Is what it was, I think.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
So, because Sean Young was supposed to play Kim Basinger's role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
She was actually cast, and they were filming. She was supposed to play Vicky Vale, and then she broke her ankle, twisted her ankle, sprained her ankle. She did something that halted production, and they had to go with the second stringer. They had to go to Kim Basinger. So, and she was always, I think she always kind of felt like that slipped underneath her because they were going to film it, and she was in it. So she was lobbying hard to play Catwoman to the point of, I guess there were stories of her showing up at the Warner Brothers lot and stuff and bombarding Tim Burton unannounced and stuff, dressed as a cat, it's really pushing her. Like she was losing her fucking mind. And it got the creepy status, like almost like, hey, we're going to get a restraining order on you. And then she went on Phil Donahue. How embarrassing is that? She went on Phil Donahue while they were casting Batman Returns in a full cat costume, in full what she thought would have been the audition that she would have given in character, and it was just humiliating.
That's
Have you guys
amazing.
watched that?
Yeah,
I would watch a documentary about like just a grown woman loses her mind in front of a bunch of people.
I give her some credit for putting herself out there and like she really wanted the role. I mean, I think she would have been great, but I guess she figured she had to really try to beat up the competition. But I guess they already had their mindset on Pfeiffer. But no, she like broke into the Warner Brothers lot, and I think it was Keaton and some producer were having a meeting, and she was just like jumping around the couch and shit, and just she was in full like Catwoman, gear, and just trying to convince them. Doing her little spiel, and I guess it didn't work. It was, I mean, they already had their mindset on Pfeiffer, and she was a great choice. But
that's kind of funny because you always hear those stories of somebody coming into an audition and taking control of it, like just becoming the character and not, letting up. But she tried it and it failed miserably, and she's just
she went way too far. You gotta imagine, and this, I don't know if she broke into the Warner Brothers lot before or after Donahue, but you going on Phil Donahue on nationwide TV and making an ass out of yourself, that goes way too far. Because like, even if she was perfect for the role, you would have watched that movie when it came out being like, that's the bitch that was on Phil Donahue and she got this role for acting like an asshole on Phil Donahue. You wouldn't be able to separate the two.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
Dude, the thing is, if she had gotten a role, it would have been a legendary story, and everybody would have been giving her thumbs up for it. She would have gotten praise for doing that. You know what I mean? It's just because she got turned down. It was like, well, she's just a crazy. Well, I think eventually she got herself blacklisted anyway. Like, I think for showing up to like Hollywood parties drunk and just being obnoxious or whatever. But
she probably had a honestly, she probably had a hard time living down what happened with Batman. That's a tough blow, man. Because talk about a big role that could have really.
That was the good old days in Hollywood where you could get blacklisted for, just wanting something too bad. Now it's fucking kids.
Yeah, Zach. He yearns for an earlier day where he can get away with the kid thing.
Actually, no, you can't get away with fucking kids because they still are. I guess.
No, it's because they talk too much. Is that right, Zach? I'm just kidding. This is getting too dark for me. But
our video just got demonetized.
You know, it's funny you say that because all of our videos, and you brought this up to me, Zach. You're like the
just keep in mind, dude, you could bring down R-rated too. It's not just you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the one that Zach's been on has been demonetized. No, what's funny is you brought that up to me. You sent me a message saying, "Hey, the Gremlins was demonetized," and I looked at it and I'm thinking, "Oh, okay, this is." And I'd seen this. It's on almost all of our videos, Zach.
I didn't notice it till just
yeah.
Then.
Because it's not suitable it might not be suitable for all advertisers. So, because, McDonald's doesn't want to put an ad on something where you're talking, and they don't want to hear you talking about politics. They don't want to hear you talking about, the Corey Feldman thing. They don't want you to hear talking about
nothing controversial.
Nothing controversial. And I'm thinking they can fucking keep their ad money.
It's weird though, because it's like, I hear that people like, it's happening to people who don't even like give an opinion. They're just reporting on it.
Yeah. So, and also though, it's all done by bots, obviously, but you can request to have it reviewed, but they won't review it until that particular video has crossed 1,000 hits, and then they'll review it. And I think I've had luck having one of them overturned because they're just bots.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is I know what they're talking about. I mean, I don't know what we said in Gremlins. I don't think we said anything. But you know what? If they are nabbing us for talking about Corey Feldman, if they're nabbing us for an off-color joke or whatever, I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to. That's censorship, man. It's ridiculous, and I don't give a shit about it. So we'll just keep doing what we do. I don't give a fuck.
Well, I guess as long as they don't fucking delete the video, it's not really censorship.
I mean, dude, think about it's just because. I think, I don't know. Like,
I worry about a day where like the podcast servers we use can start being run like how Google runs YouTube. Because what if they just start doing shit like that on the podcast?
It will. The grip will get stronger and stronger and stronger, of course. I mean, podcasting never used to be an industry for making money. Now everybody's got their finger in it, and it's about making money. But look, the new episode that we just did of the Deep End, dude, that's all we're talking about is like sad, depressing shit, and that didn't get flagged, so I don't know what it is. So when I request to have it manually reviewed by a real person, if that's what they really do, are they going to listen to our entire fucking 2-hour commentary and find that, okay, nothing was said? Or are they going to listen to the first 10 minutes and realize Zach didn't make a sodomy joke in the first 10 minutes and call it good?
The worst one I ever did was whenever I was like, we were talking about Corey Feldman, and I was like, damn, I hope you don't tell on me. That was the best lay I ever had.
That was a great one, man. And I don't care. It's like, whatever. I don't think
that one got demonetized, which is funny.
I don't care. It's so stupid, man.
Dude, you know what's really funny? It's like, once I started following Corey Feldman on Twitter, somehow I started getting like updates from him, and it's always like Corey Feldman tweet. I'm like, oh my god.
Of course he does.
I see those people all the time, yeah.
Hey, man, he likes his tweet.
You think he's going to make his goal for his, I don't know, what is it? His crusade or whatever?
He's going to get that $10 million and he's going to fucking move to he's going to move to Switzerland as soon as he gets that $10 million. He's going to leave the country.
I don't know. What if he was just over exaggerating? What if the only people he knows are just some small bit people? Like the two he said.
Yeah, who knows? I still think it's been heavily rumored. I'm waiting for Joel Schumacher to be one of them,
I've never heard that. You're the only person
I've heard that everywhere. The thing is you never heard about all these other people that are coming out. Here's the thing. You know what they say? For every rumor, there's a shred of truth, right? Even if it's not all true, there's always a shred of truth to every heavy rumor. And the Louis C.K. thing, like that was rumored. That was a fun rumor going around. Turned out to be true. The Bill Cosby thing, that was a fun rumor going around that happened to be true. The Joel Schumacher thing, I'm sorry. I mean, innocent till proven guilty, but the rumor was that he was Brad Renfro was a victim of him on the set of The Client, amongst other producers, and he of course went down a bad spiral, went into drugs, and eventually killed himself. And Joel Schumacher also directed fucking Lost Boys. I'm just saying.
I saw Alex Winter came out and said some shit happened to him too.
Oh yeah, what was that about? I saw that too, but I can't quite remember.
He just said when he was a kid some shit happened. Yeah, he didn't really get into
The Reeves? Was it the Reeves? Did him and the Reeves get gangbanged?
Nothing like that was said.
By Rufus?
Oh. Dude, I just saw an article broke today about Gal Gadot apparently like covering up something about a rape and her roommate when she was a model back in Milan, and all these models kind of lived together and they would like hobnob around with these like rich guys and stuff, and like her roommate got raped and she did all these terrible things like pressuring her and like Google it. It's a complicated story, but apparently they're going after Gal Gadot now.
So, well, and then she looks like a big hypocrite because she was sitting there saying, I will not do Wonder Woman 2 unless Brett Ratner is pulled from the movie
exactly.
as a producer, because I'm all women's rights. And now I'm a figure for women because I'm Wonder Woman. And I'm not saying people can't change, but I could see how that would make her look bad. And I thought it was Gal Gadot.
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, apparently the girl that got raped, like, put out this big press release told the story about, like, she's a hypocrite and, you know, she's a terrible person. She's a predator and all this stuff. I'm like, damn, man, not even shit. I mean, her career's just getting started now. There's like dirt on her too. It's just like, fuck.
She's a fine woman though, man. Ooh, I tell you what.
Oh,
calling
my
her
God.
a hypocrite and
Are
a
you
terrible
kidding me?
person is a little far. I mean, you probably don't know that much.
Read the article, man. It's harsh.
Yeah.
It
I'll
is
send you the
interesting to see a woman get tagged. You know,
Yeah.
I wonder if it's just this power thing where they like having the power to end someone's career in the palm of their hand. Like, I'm gonna fuck this person up, baby.
could be. I'm just happy that people aren't taking the Stallone one seriously. Everybody's like, bullshit. I think everybody's tired of it now. I think everybody's just getting sick of it now. But
yeah, I don't want to comment too much on it because I'll all of a sudden start getting attacked or something. But I don't know, it just seems like, you know, I'll just say this: people love to see successful people in a position of power get toppled. You know, it just,
yeah,
you know what I mean. And I think it's a trend right now, and it'll probably. I'm not saying there's not good coming out of it. You know, because some of these people really do need to be taken out. But
there's a couple that fucking Weinstein was, he didn't even try to deny it and shit like that.
I would even go as far as to say that the majority of people that come out are telling the truth, and I wouldn't want to take anything away from that.
Absolutely.
But if you think that 100% of everybody that comes forward with some story is 100% honest, you're full of shit and you're fooling yourself. Because for every 95 legit cases, there is 4 people who are embellishing what really happened to them, and there's one person that's totally fucking making it up. I think, you know, so it's a fine line. You can't ignore people, but at the same time, that's why we have a court system. That's why we have this whole system that people are ignoring now, because you still kind of have to protect the person that's being accused until we know. But you know, we live in a scary society now, but hopefully.
Oh, terrifying.
It's terrifying.
That's why I always say I would hate to be a celebrity, because you're constantly, you're walking around, you're a walking target.
You know how many celebrities pay people for hush money, like just that are trying to ruin their career, and they pay them hush money because they have this power over them? Like, yeah, this is not me saying you're right, but even if you're just bullshitting, you could ruin, your voice is loud enough to where you could fucking ruin my career. So I got to like settle out of court and I got to pay you. It's absolute bullshit.
That's really fucking ironic we're talking about this, considering the scene we're watching right now. Where like Penguin's pissed because she won't put out. So he fucking hangs her out to dry, man.
This I know, it's a crazy scene, isn't it? Please, I wouldn't touch you to scratch you.
Tim Burton was ahead of his time, man. This is a metaphor for Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, all that stuff about like all the super hardcore feminists in Hollywood kind of makes sense now. It's like, oh, you got to put up with fucking Harvey Weinstein. I kind of get it now.
No, totally, yeah.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous, man.
But you know what? Another good point, though, about, let's say, Harvey Weinstein. You know, for every woman that walked out of a room like that, there's probably 20 women that took his offer and took the movie and took the deal, right? And they're benefiting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's dirty. It's dirty. But for every one person that walked away and is talking right now, there's 20 or 30 women that were totally down with the agreement. And you know it.
Or did it because they felt like they had to, too. Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably a bunch of them, too. But you know there's tons of women that did it and
we're
benefited.
not even hearing about them.
Because why would they? Why would they talk? So, I don't know. It's a fucked up system. I'm looking forward to Hollywood. It needs the reset button. It needs to be washed away. It needs to be broken down and just start it over, man. I love film, man. I love filmmaking. I love art. But it ain't about that anymore. It's just so corrupt and it's just bullshit. And case in point, look what we get. Look what Hollywood is in the movies they put out. It's bullshit. Mm-hmm. It's lowest common denominator bullshit. Sequels and remakes, sequels and remakes, sequels and remakes.
I wouldn't even mind that if they made sequels to good movies. Make that fucking Bill and Ted sequel.
Yeah, it's dumb, man.
Yeah, I want to see that too, man. Fucking old ass Keanu Reeves and
it could work great. I think it'd be funny if they played on the whole like electronica like scene. Like just have Wild Stallions be two guys that just play a laptop in front of like on a stage. Like, yeah, we don't even have to learn how to play.
They could be a parody of fucking Daft Punk.
Yeah. Do they actually play though?
They just kind of sit there at their little electronic stand hitting samples. I don't know what they do. Bobbing their head. They're just DJs.
Mm-hmm.
They could do Bill and Ted's Excellent or Bogus Journey Part 2 where they get molested in Hollywood. That'd be pretty interesting.
What would it be called? What would we call this one, you think?
They should use triumphant because that's a word they would like to use throughout the series. So
Bill and Ted's Most Triumphant Return.
Yeah, Bill and Ted's Triumphant Return.
They're going to have like a studio exec who's like, you know, saying like, Ted, you got to fucking suck my dick to get this role. And Ted's just like, bogus, you know, and he just fucking gets on his knees, you know?
Or suck his dick to get a record deal, since they're
the dick comes too early in his face and catches him by surprise, and he goes, "Whoa!" Fucking messy, honey glaze.
I think I want to see it done, but I hope they go with how part 2 was, just like an effects show.
Yeah, it's a bummer though about George Carlin being dead and not being able to be a part of it.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
No, they'll CGI him in, man. They'll CGI him in.
I guess they could, man.
Like Grandma Tarkin, yeah. Why is his name Grandma? Look at that chick.
Oh. I'm not gonna find that when they answer.
Yeah. Oh. You know what's funny too is I'm only half joking because I'm assuming his name's probably Grand something. But yeah, every time someone says it, I think Grandma.
Where did the penguin get that little toy fucking Batmobile? So ridiculous.
It's pretty dumb.
How did Batman thrust his fist through a little monitor like that? I think it'd be hard, man. I'd break my hand. I don't know about you.
He's Batman, though.
But this is kind of like Batman. He's got a tool for everything. This is kind of like the 60s Batman. He had an answer for everything.
They're very situational, specific things that his Batmobile can do.
It turned into a big dick. It turned into a fucking big dildo.
Yeah, it's like him and Alfred sat around just thinking of every possible scenario ever.
I can't even imagine that being possible. How could you put something out of the bottom of the car that has enough shit pushing down to lift the car itself?
You know about shit pushing, all right? I don't know. Why are we talking about this? It just he's Batman, man. Why did Adam West have a penguin away spray? Didn't he have penguin away spray in his utility belt? He had everything in his utility belt.
I think he had like shark spray, or I don't know. Yeah, he had some dumb shit. He had some dumb shit too.
This game, I wanted to say, it's very rare that a video game has a good movie tie-in adaptation. It never happens. But Batman Returns is the second best beat 'em up on the Super Nintendo, next to Turtles in Time. But it's a fantastic game. Konami did an excellent job. Have you played it, Zach?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's harder than shit too. Have you played it, Josh?
Yeah, I played it a little bit. I definitely enjoyed the first Batman. I mean, it was a side scroller,
The NES
really
one?
basic shit, but it was fun.
The
Little
NES
purple
one was
Batman
fun.
shit running around.
But and then Batman Returns, back in those days, when you had all the different rival consoles, they had different versions of the same game.
Remember the Batman Forever that was like a fucking Mortal Kombat clone?
Horrible. That game is garbage, man. Just like the movie. It deserved to be that bad.
But what about I don't hate that movie.
I do. I think it's fucking trash.
I always remember that scene where fucking he's doing he's crying after he kills his boss.
Oh,
yeah, he sounded like me on Deep End.
Dude, it's just a joke. I don't like it. I mean, it's not as bad as Batman and Robin, but I'm not trying to give it a compliment when I say that. It's just that they made a bad movie and they somehow topped it and made a fucking worse movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, is Batman Forever watchable? Yes. Do I want to watch it? I do not. Batman and Robin is not watchable.
I watched Batman and Robin in the theaters and I liked it.
Dude,
I was a
gonna drop
kid
the fat
though.
beat, dude. Alfred's gonna spin that shit.
Hell yeah.
He is. He's gonna have a disc. Walk, 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 walk. Or maybe
I can only watch Batman, the Batman and Robin movie, unless I can watch it if there's like a commentary track making fun of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like, no, hell no.
We should
It's
one.
pretty bad.
No, I would totally do a commentary of Batman and Robin. It'd be great. But the only way to watch Batman and Robin is just like a YouTube condensed version where they just edit all the funny Arnold quotes and stuff together. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, It's not a movie. It's just a...
Take 2 of these and call me in the morning.
So bad. Alfred, man.
The movie that ended the franchise.
It probably killed Michael Goff. It's probably what fucking sent him to his grave. I can't believe, like, if he was not in that damn movie, and Pat Hingle as well, then they could easily say they weren't canon. But then you have Pat Hingle show up, and then you have fucking Michael Goff playing the same role. It just throws you out of whack because those movies should not even be connected. They're so, I don't know, like, to connect Batman and Robin with this movie is ridiculous.
I never thought him as
Batman and Robin's transcended into like that space of like so bad it's good. In a way, it's like it's a great movie. It's a fun movie to watch with friends and like just totally shit on the whole time. It's like you're glad it exists because it's a fucking laugh. You know what I mean? But other than that, if you can't take it seriously at all. It's the performances are absolutely terrible. I mean, even fucking what George Clooney says, he like wishes he hadn't done the movie. I mean, Uma Thurman, who's fucking fantastic, sucks in that movie.
He regretted doing the movie when they were promoting the movie. When they were on the tour promoting it.
Yeah.
It was so... Watch those interviews he does, and he is so miserable talking about the movie, and he admits the movie's trash during these interviews. And it's so great. Have you seen the interview where he throws Arnold under the bus?
No.
Somebody's interviewing about the movie, and he starts... saying shit about the movie, and the interviewer's like, well, we spoke with Arnold earlier and he loves him. He's like, yeah, of course Arnold said that. Arnold's fake.
What a dick. You gonna shit talk Arnold, baby.
Arnold was doing his job. He's paid to promote the movie. He's a salesman from hell, I tell you what.
He's a constant fucking professional. He's a PR guy all the way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a politician, is he not? It's
yeah,
100%. So you can't get mad at Arnold for doing his job. But dude, I'll never forget when he was doing the press rounds for Batman and Robin. He was on Jay Leno, and he was really hyping up Mr. Freeze in that movie. He was literally getting into it, getting all kid-like, and he was saying, Mr. Freeze, he makes Terminator look like a babysitter. That's what he said. He's like, a babysitter.
He's got the rock'em sock'em freeze gun,
Yo, booster.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, though. I mean, Freeze is the best part of that movie, though. I mean,
yeah, he is the best part of the movie.
Just because of the absurdity of the whole thing, it's just... I love that. I would rather live in a world with an Arnold Mr. Freeze than without an Arnold Mr. Freeze. You know what I mean?
I always wondered how he got his teeth to have that blue light in it, and I wanted to do that shit. Like, did he just like get a retainer that had a nightlight on it or something?
That's so funny. They sell those things.
Do they?
I've seen them in other. People have done them in other like stuff. There's a Rammstein video where they all had those things in their mouth. Too, but yeah, I don't know. I love this fat clown, man. He gets fucking killed because he has a heart. He's like, I don't know. I mean, killing sleeping children, isn't that a little? No, it's a lot. I love it. It's coming right now.
Man, there are a couple of chicks in his little posse. There's like at least 3.
And you would think he'd be the kind of guy to
kind
rape
of hot,
them.
like fucking goth chicks. You know what I'm saying?
He's gonna kill the John Candy clown. Look at him. He looks like John Candy. When they show his face up front, man, you just feel bad for the guy. You can't imagine this guy breaking a single law. Look at him, John Candy. Oh my god. Kill him.
I think that's the long lost third ICP member, Greasy.
Don't you think? Like, why is Penguin so horny? If he's the leader of this group, don't you think he's the kind of guy that would have forced himself on some of these women down there?
Oh, of course, yeah.
He seems scummy, yeah.
Look at Alfred standing on that animated cliff. It was like drawn. Look, Bruce Wayne put together the Batmobile again. He obviously had spare parts, and he put that fucking thing back together by himself.
Maybe he had a second one.
How does he have time to do this? You know, he's got to be at the beck and call whenever, and he's just got, okay, I'll put together this whole fucking car. That's the kind of shit that should take a week.
Yeah. He's also got a Bat gadget that just fixes his car for him really quick.
Do you think he has a Bat dildo? Do you think he has something for those things, those needs?
That would be awesome.
The Bat butt plug? The Bat plug?
Yeah.
I like this scene a lot, dude, when the Penguin fucking crashes the party and blows it literally, and he comes out with that duck. I think it's great, man.
Is this going to turn into an Eyes Wide Shut situation?
Dude, I hope, man. Then that Penguin clit tickler will come in handy.
Yeah.
Why is there a hand hanging out of that one headdress over there? That was weird.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
He's fucking, he's appropriating Native American culture.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of like Halloween party is this where it's a suit and tie affair, but you can just wear a mask? It's just a masquerade.
They're doing that shit, man.
I always want to go to like a cool, posh masquerade party like that, you know? It'd be kind of fun.
It looks like a furry party. It does look like a fucking Eyes Wide Shut thing.
Yeah, it's a little absurd, but...
She looked good here, baby.
Yeah, she does.
Dick's out for Pfeiffer.
I really like this song. This song's in the soundtrack, too. I really like it.
Yeah, you're right. And this is like probably some of the best Selena Kyle stuff in the movie, if you ask me. All the other stuff is really not the best, but I think this is a good scene, you know? And I think they actually, from what I heard, like kind of drew on their past relationship to make this work.
Yeah.
You know, because they had dated for a while or something. And
yeah, the moment when they discover who they are, each other, and it's great. And she just kind of cries, and she's a good actor. You can see the confliction in her eyes.
Yeah. There's some real chemistry here. It's cool, you know?
Yeah.
And
well,
she's fucking hot as fuck, though.
Yeah, it's like it almost does beg for more exploring of Selena Kyle's character, but they were gonna give her own movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's another tidbit. They were gonna give her own movie.
Oh, they did, baby. You didn't see the one with
that's what it turned into. That fucking Halle Berry abortion. They were gonna give her own movie, and of course, through all the Tim Burton Warner Brother fallout, that got dropped too, and then Halle Berry ended up getting it. And I've never seen it. I do not. I saw the trailer where she said "my bad," and I was like, "Oh."
Didn't she?
Yeah, they could have thrown Marlon Wayne's Robin in that movie.
Yeah, that would have fit way more, right? No, fuck that. Put Keenan Ivory Wayans in it.
There was also, they should have made a fucking Blank Man movie. That Wayne's brother showed up. Yeah, they could.
Damon Wayans.
Talk about fucking Marvel expanded universes. They should have just been doing this shit all along.
Dude, that's all the Wayans have done their whole careers, a Wayans expanded universe. They invented it.
Yeah, pretty much.
They pretty much give each other work, man. Keenan Ivory Wayans, he's the Iron Man, obviously. He started it all.
And then they could have brought in Johnny Five to be friends with J5 on Blank Man 2.
Yeah, total crossover, man.
Actually, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker would be a great Revival House commentary pick.
Yeah, I've seen that a couple times.
Here's the scene, the mistletoe. It comes back full circle, and it's perfect the way they do it. And I love this when he takes a step back and they look at each other right here. And I've always wondered what would happen if they were able to make it outside and talk, because he says, let's go outside, you know? Because she says, oh my God, does this mean we have to start fighting? And he says, let's go outside, and the Penguin's going to fucking interrupt the party, and that's the last they get to see of each other, because the next time you see Catwoman is when she's down in the fucking sewers and all fucked up. But I've often wondered what would happen if they got to go outside and just talk, you know?
Yeah, it's the only time you really get invested in the characters in this movie. I mean...
And now it's over, right?
Yeah, and...
It seems like they always gotta... They're like, oh yeah, we gotta put more villains in there. It has to be studio interference wanting... we want to sell more fucking toys and shit. And then you have so little time with characters.
If Selena Kyle would have went outside and her and Bruce Wayne could have talked it out knowing who they were, then we could have actually explored that relationship that him and Catwoman have and her sort of hero anti-hero thing she has going on in the comics, you know? Probably could have explored that a little bit more, but, you know, whatever. Look at that fog machine, man. It's killer. I love it, man. We're going to see more Andrew Bernarski gold here. Dad, go! Save yourself! Dad, go! Sound like an idiot. Sounds like he's like from the Flintstones or something.
What if we listened to the real commentary on the DVD and they're like, yeah, this is Andrew Bernarski. He kept talking like that. We didn't tell him to. He just never stopped. I don't know what he was going for.
He talks like he has an accent. I used to think the guy was like French or something, but I've seen him talk on face. He's American as apple pie. He's super redneck. So what is this fucking dialect he's putting on?
That's a version of a character. That's his idea of a character. Yeah.
Here it is. What? Look.
Imagine how many mass shootings you could pull off with that.
Yeah.
That was a terrible joke. That was terrible.
Oh, God. We're going to start talking about mass shootings now. Let's not.
No,
let's not and say we did.
That'll probably get cut out.
No. It's horrible, man. Horrible.
You know, by the time this comes out, there'll probably be another one, and that'll be like really insensitive.
Oh. You got a point. I'll let the little prince live for now.
Yeah, so they were supposed to originally bring Annette Bening in for the Catwoman role. I guess she got pregnant and couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's another situation. She got pregnant and couldn't do the fucking movie.
Now, did she go on Phil Donahue? No.
She's a pretty attractive older woman. I bet you she looked good back then. I don't really recall what she looked like.
I mean, I think Annette Bening was pretty fucking hot back in the 80s and shit, you know, and like it's you know, I mean, she's aged not very well. I mean, not that most people do, but
I'm not sure who she is. What was she in?
President's wife movie. She's
My Date with the President's Daughter with the fucking Will guy from Boy Meets World.
Fucking Will Friedle.
Yeah, that was a Disney Channel original movie.
I think her biggest role was probably what's it called, man? American Beauty.
American Beauty. She played Kevin Spacey's wife. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Also starring Scott Bakula, the Great, as the gay neighbor.
Yeah, they have this thing with Scott Bakula for some reason.
Heck yeah, man! Got a big long thing for Scott Bakula, a full big 7 inches long. Raging. Yeah,
the Dawn of the Dead commentary hasn't been released yet, but yeah, you'll hear how deep this fucking obsession goes.
It's pretty sick, but I don't want to be cured. Let's say that. But me and River bond over it. I really hope that Dawn of the Dead, man. I can't wait for that to come out, and I'm so stoked that we can at least use the backup for River's recording, because it's not one that we can redo, because we started telling a lot of very unique stories. Between me and River, because we bond over that movie, and we couldn't do it again. And if we did, it'd have to be like 5 years after we forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, next time we do one of these crossovers, we need to get Riverman on too, because it'd be fun to interact with the famous Riverman, who's
One of the originals.
For sure.
I know he's one of the originals, and he's a rarity, man. You gotta set that shit up, man. Or he can come on our show if he wants.
He's been doing every Friday lately, which is great. And he was gone for a long time, and he's been coming back on Friday because we record on Fridays and then Sundays typically, and he's been coming on Fridays, and it's been keeping it fresh for me because I love it, man. I love recording, knowing we got Riverman, a threesome, and then I honestly love it on Sundays. We can do a different type of movie. And it's just me and you. There's two different dynamics there when it's three of us and it's just me and you. And for Zach, I think it's great, and I hope he kind of keeps that consistency. But with 4 people, sometimes it can get a little muddy. So, but
yeah, well, especially when you don't have a lot of chemistry. I'm not gonna say chemistry, but you haven't really say like when me and Matt and you guys get together, we haven't really had a lot of time to develop any kind of like real chemistry together. It's a little different, but you see Riverman and Zach already have an established thing that flows.
I think
real
it would
well,
work. Yeah,
so.
You're right.
Yeah.
And I know when to keep my fucking yapper shut when River's there. And if you were there, I know when to sort of lay back a little bit. So, and sometimes I get so used to doing it with just Zach that, we have to kind of go. But then when Riverman comes on, okay, I can lay back. And if it's a movie River likes, like when you do see Dawn of the Dead, this is his all-time favorite movie. And I love it too. And it's kind of how we bonded and met. I let him kind of run with this. Like, all right, man, this is your movie. I'm going to let you go a little bit.
It's like me now, because you guys are making this really easy to do this commentary, because I didn't know what the fuck I was going to talk about, because I haven't seen this. I saw this movie once, and it was a couple years ago.
I love that little kick. Sorry.
So, yeah.
The one thing I've realized about doing these, these podcasts and stuff is like it never ends up being what you think it's going to be. Mm-hmm. So I just always throw the preconceived notions out the window, just let it roll organically, it'll just be what it'll be. The conversation will come to us,
Mm-hmm.
So the Penguin, obviously he never washes that onesie because it's filthy. How come there's not fucking shit streaks in it? He's not wearing underwear because you can literally see it riding up his ass. He's not wearing underwear. You'd think there'd be cum stains, fucking shit streaks, all kinds of stuff. I mean,
he washes them.
How hard is it to take that thing off to take a shit? I don't think he even takes a shit. Seriously, does somebody help him? Does one of the ladies unzip him? I want to see what it looks like naked. What's his penis look like?
Bunch of black shit, just diarrhea, just runs down his leg or something. And
does that black shit he barfs up come out of his dick too?
Doesn't he get naked in the movie?
No.
Don't we see his naked back or something?
I think you're thinking of Beldar Conehead or something.
Maybe.
I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Oh, dude, this scene's like the opening of Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's funny. That is. This is so weird, man. He's got these smart-ass penguins. See, he doesn't need to live a life as a recluse. He could be making so much money at SeaWorld with these fucking trained-ass penguins.
Mm-hmm.
He's a master. They look pissed.
They're so cute.
Yeah, so when they saw the penguin as a baby and they were just disgusted to the point where they had to murder him, I've always wanted to see what the baby penguin looks like. I think it's great they don't show us. But was it just the nose and his deformities on his fingers being stuck together like a penguin, and he's got the flipper? What does his dick look like? Because he's wearing a very revealing one piece and we don't see anything. Is he missing a dick?
Yeah, maybe he's got one of those little dicks, and then once he got fat, it just kind of, hit it.
Yeah.
I just imagine it kind of looks like a dog dick, It just comes out like a little lipstick.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That's actually like a Chinese person. I've told you that.
It didn't look like it didn't look like it like that in Splatman though.
Oh,
the porno version.
Batman Returns porno spoof that they made back in the 90s.
And he's got a little jizz emblem on his chest. It's like a little splurt.
Yeah, did that have Catwoman in it?
Yeah, it did. She's on the cover, I think.
Oh yeah,
I think it had a maybe Batgirl was in it. I don't know. It looks like it was shot on a fucking VHS camcorder. It's bad,
all the money went into the cover photo.
Yeah.
The entire budget.
Probably. That should be the thumbnail, too. We should just use the thumbnail of that movie.
Oh, God.
I came across the box art for that, and so me and my girlfriend looked it up, and we watched it. Well, we watched parts of it. We didn't watch the whole thing, but... Well, who watches...
You didn't make it that far because it turned you on. Is this doing it for you?
It's like an hour and 12 minutes, and it's fucking horrible, dude. They actually bring in elements of the original 60s Batman into it with the sound effects and shit. Like the...
Yeah.
And
does somebody shoot a load and then it says splat real big on the screen?
Probably.
Basically, yeah. That's basically what it is. It's just... It's terrible. It's... the Batsuit's not bad. They must have got a decent replica for that, but everything else is just horse shit. And it's the only version I've ever been able to find of it is in like French dubs, so it's all in.
Oh God,
Yeah,
it's something to watch if you're, so inclined to see something bizarre. But
I want to see Catwoman get fucked.
you might be able to play with that cover art though, Zach, for the thumbnail. You might be able to do something with it.
Yeah, I gotta at least put the splat emblem on the real Batman.
That would be fucking hilarious.
Hey, do you guys want to hear? Do you guys want to hear a little bit of the movie, Splatman?
Go ahead.
Sure.
I got it queued up here. You guys, I know you guys want to hear this. Come on, hang on. One second.
Is it like the moaning stuff that's going to get us in trouble, or is it just like the dialogue?
But Zach can cut it out. It's nothing too explicit. Okay, just listen. All right.
Anticipated.
Did you play it?
I love that, man. This is a great line. You're just jealous because I'm a genuine freak and you have to wear a mask. That's a great line.
Did you guys get any of that, or was that just a total waste of time?
Dude, we heard nothing.
It was too quiet. I'll have to add it in later.
Yeah, send him an audio by it. We were kind of talking and stuff, so it's all good. Maybe it was fate. Maybe when you send it to Zach, it's going to be really fucking disgusting. Like, yeah, it's probably better off that we didn't.
Oh, no, if it's disgusting, it's going in, man.
My babies! No! This is great. These are his babies.
Yeah, there's always a scene like this.
I love it, man. I love in the video game when you're just Batman beating the shit out of the Penguin. Punch him in the face. Because Batman never does that. Oh, he does it right there, my bad.
I don't think I ever beat the game.
It's tough. It is hard. It is hard as shit. Even on easy mode, it's hard as shit. I beat it one time. And I've never come close again. I love it, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna fall. This is a great third act. You gotta admit, man, it's a good third act. I would even say it's a stronger third act than the bell tower, and Joe. I don't know. That's a pretty cool one too. Him climbing the bell tower.
Better than? No way. But it's good. It definitely brings the movie home. I mean, it gives you some.
The bell tower is very climactic just because of what it is. Him climbing the tower, him fighting the Joker. It's pretty cool, but this one's a lot bigger, man. There's a lot to this one. Dude,
in my opinion, Jack Nicholson's the best part of this whole franchise. They're really bad.
So that's where I'm going to agree with you.
Nothing tops it. You know what I mean?
While there's so much about this movie, I think is over the first one. The score, the vibe, everything. In no way is the Penguin or Catwoman more iconic than Jack Nicholson's Joker. Mm-hmm. So, Jack Nicholson's Joker is the villain. Don't get me wrong. Michelle Pfeiffer ain't too far, though, man. She's pretty iconic in this role. She's the most remembered part about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
Even people that dog on this movie, people still remember this fondly. A very big ball of string. Now's not the time to be a smart-ass fucking Max Shrek. That's being a smart-ass.
I think this movie would have been great, though, if the third act was just him fucking her.
My blood I gave at the office.
And then just make a fan edit with this and Splatman, and
Yeah.
You're good to go.
And Max Shrek watches and jacks off.
How did the hook holding him up on that pulley just disappear when he jumped down? It was gone because he was like hanging on that thing.
And then we see fucking the DeVito's cock.
I think this movie's perfect, right? This is back in the day when these comic book movies were about 2 hours, maybe 5 minutes over, but around 2 hours. Nowadays, man, with these movies like Justice League and all this stuff, they're all going like 2.5 hours. Even the Nolan Batmans, they're too long. They really are.
Just to make a point real quick, the Warner Brothers studio mandated that Justice League be 2 hours and not over. So it's actually...
Oh, I take it back. So you're right. So before that, the movies like Batman
Dawn of Justice definitely was, 2.5 or something, way too long.
So I take it back. Batman v Superman and all that stuff, those were like 2.5 hours. And then you're right. They did that. They mandated that for Justice League. But that blows me away because I think the movie's like, it's like 15 minutes shy of 2 hours. It's like, if you're gonna go big, if there's any one of your movies that you need to be over 2 hours, I guess it's the Justice League. Because it's just so funny that that one's so much shorter than Batman v Superman. You got like 1 million characters in it.
It's funny though, because it's like everything's going over 2 hours, like just shitty comedies. It's like I'm fine with long movies, but they don't all gotta be over 2 hours, guys.
There's something beautiful about a movie that's like 1 hour and 20 minutes. That's just a slapstick movie, and it's to leave your mind at the door. I love it.
I totally agree.
They make them rewatchable. Sometimes a long movie, as good as it is, I can't watch Casino all the time. I love Casino, but that's a long ass movie, man. I can't just watch Casino any old time. I have to be in the mood for it. I can stop at Wayne's World on TV any fucking day and be like, it's Wayne's World. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
Hour and 30 minutes of my time. Movies like that move fast. That's why, comedies move fast. Hey, Zach, they have Dumb and Dumber 2 on sale on Blu-ray at Best Buy for $4.99.
I saw that Get Out is the same price on Amazon.
Yeah, that's $4.99 too. I'd buy Get Out. I kind of want to buy a copy of it. They don't have the slipcovers though, son of a bitch.
I was thinking about getting Billy Madison. It's like $5.
Is it?
Yeah, on Blu-ray.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I've been wanting to watch that. That's another movie. That's like a Wayne's World. Just put in Billy Madison.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Gilmore's better though.
That's my favorite Sandler movie by far.
I like Happy Gilmore a little bit better. It's about those two movies. I think Happy Gilmore gets the slight edge for me.
I'd put Billy Madison a little higher, probably. But I remember when they came out, they were almost like the same movie. It was almost like a sequel.
Did you see that Christopher McDonald was in the news because he got pulled over for a DUI and he was trying to use the Shooter McGavin card to get out? I was Shooter McGavin.
What?
Yeah, it was on the news, man. It was all over the place. Look it up. He tried to fucking pull I was Shooter McGavin thing. It didn't work. He still got a ticket.
Was that the only movie he ever did?
No, he was in a slew of movies during that era, but that's the movie he's known for. Trust me.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. He tried pulling the I'm Shooter McGavin thing.
You think the guy that got the nail on the head ever tried that?
Mr. Larson. He also played Jaws, though, in the Bond movies.
That's
Moonraker
right,
and whatever. I saw him, dude. I actually saw him at a convention, and he looked bad. He actually died like a month after I saw him at this convention. He looked in bad shape.
Yeah.
He could barely talk, and he was huge, man. His hands. I mean, he obviously had that like giant disease that made you like really big, gave you the big hands, the big head, and they just didn't stop growing. His hands were bigger than my fucking skull, man.
Nice. I wonder how big his cock was.
Probably a fucking monstrous hog, dude. I was thinking the same thing.
Imagine if he had a normal size cock and he had such big hands that it made it look even smaller.
I love the score here in this cue. This is great. I love what he says.
I feel bad for the penguin.
He got throat fucked, dude. Too hard.
He ate the Nilbog food.
Look at his ass. You're gonna see his station ass when he slams on the ground. This is a great scene. Look, station ass. Oh,
yeah,
that's a dummy, dude.
That shot's awesome.
And I love how the penguins are dragging him into the water grave. They're pallbearers. Isn't that great? But they're not even touching him. It's so funny. These penguins are...
And they're totally like people in costumes. They're like...
Yeah, these ones are for sure.
Totally the wrong size, dude.
Look at these ones are like midgets.
Yeah.
It's so funny. But yeah, look, watch. Yeah, look how fucking huge they are. They're almost as big as the penguin. They're big as Danny DeVito. But watch, look.
They're huge.
They're not even touching him.
Those are like the species that were his parents, or probably.
Look at their feet. Look at the little fake feet.
Yeah.
Socks. That's great. Look at it. They're like the Happy Gilmore penguin.
Yeah.
No, Billy Madison.
Billy
I get them
Madison.
fucking mixed up.
It's
But that literally
penguin
is
again.
when he sucks the fucking beak. I want to see one of them wave. Wave goodbye. That's creep. I thought that was always a creepy image of his dead face, fucking just drowning. It's to me that's a really dark image.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I don't know.
Merry Christmas, y'all.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. Yeah.
He goes, Merry Christmas, Alfred. He goes, doesn't he say Merry Christmas, Alfred? Merry Christmas, Mr. Wayne.
Oh, I thought you were just saying Merry Christmas to me, to us.
I think he was. Alfred, stop the car.
I'm just saying it because it's ironic that it's just a very Christmassy movie with all this like sex, death, and gore and gothicness in it.
That's my kind of Christmas movie.
Yeah. Christmas is depressing, man. It's pretty dark. A lot of bad shit goes down on Christmas.
Yeah, it's like I've heard that's the
suicide.
Suicide's
desperation,
huge.
robberies. I mean, it's just a lot of bad things. Merry Christmas, Mr. Wayne. Yeah, they really did set it up. It's kind of a bummer because they really did set it up like the Catwoman would return, because to date, she was the only villain that didn't die. And I don't know, it's just kind of criminal. Because I'm sorry, I know, Zach, you said you didn't feel like they were canon, like Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. But the fact that they have Pat Hingle and Michael Goff, Josh, would you consider all four of these movies canon because those characters, or would you say they're not?
Would I consider this franchise to be canon?
Well, the Joel Schumacher and the Tim Burton ones, because Michael Goff is the same, and then Pat Hingle's in it. That's the only thing. If they recast Alfred and Commissioner Gordon, you could argue that they weren't canon all day long, and I would love to believe that. But the fact that they kept a couple of characters,
it's almost like they threw the guy a bone. It's just like, yeah, you can come back as Alfred. Like, you can be at least the one consistent thing in these movies.
Mm-hmm.
But does that not make them canon?
No, not really.
You don't think that connects them?
I usually just hear people call them, like, people refer to them as two different ones, like, you know.
I don't. In my mind, I can easily separate them. I mean, like, the latter two do not affect these two at all for me. But
mm-hmm.
Look at that fake ass Catwoman. It's kind of a cool shot, though. It's kind of a cool tack on shot. It's neat.
Oh, I'd still fuck her, baby.
It's great. I love this movie, and I know you said you liked it when you were a kid and you haven't watched it too much in your adult life. I've watched it so many times. I've got the steelbook too, the Blu-ray steelbook of it. It's really, really pretty to look at. It's nice.
Yeah, man. To be honest, I mean, I like this movie fine, but it'll probably be another 10 years till I reach for my copy of it to watch it. You know what I mean? Like 89 Batman, yeah, but not this one. Probably wait another 10 years to see it again.
I kind of want to watch 89 Batman too. We should do, when we do 89 Batman, maybe we should wait till after the holidays are over, but we should all do that one together too.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, sure, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. You know, that'd be a good one to do in the summertime, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, so remind us, we'll all do that one together too. That one's got a lot of cool stuff to talk about also. We kind of already laid down a couple of the facts. Just the people that were up for Batman is crazy.
Yeah, and I've actually seen that one more than once in my life.
Oh, really? Yeah, we've all seen that one a million times. We can talk about the Robin Williams thing. We can talk about the Mel Gibson, Alec Baldwin connections and all that fun stuff. There's a lot of stuff with that one, but anyway, that's good. It was fun. So I'm curious though, Zach, I guess if I asked you to rate this movie as somebody that's watched it once and you're pretty, you came into it pretty bare. Comparing it to the first one, I guess that's probably how you'd, make your rating. How would you rate this movie?
I remember when I watched it the first time, I put it just as good as the first one, but the first one's always more watchable, I think, to me. It was easier to go back to and watch over and over again.
Okay, so what is the first one, and then what is this one then? So I have something for scale here.
First one's definitely like at least 7, and then maybe this one's just under it.
Okay, so like a 7 and a 6.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't say the first one was a little higher than a 7, but I understand. What do you think, Josh? What do you give the first one? What do you give this one?
First one, 89 Batman, I'll say is a 9 out of 10. This one is more like a 6.5.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, I was gonna guess that Zach that at least deserved like an 8 or 9. It's up there.
It probably would be. I just said at least a 7. Yeah.
See, for me, I think they're both 9s. I mean, they really, I'm not saying that the first one's an inferior movie. I'm just like, gun to my head, which one do I like better? When I was a kid, it used to change. I probably like the first one better, but just as I gotten older, I respect this one a lot. I don't know. It's like I said, it's ballsy. It's a ballsy movie.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
It's a real director's movie. It's a real, hey, this is your baby, and this is when he was a young, dangerous director, and he did what he should have did. He took a risk, and that's cool. He was kind of rebellious, and rebellious to the extent where he lost the job for the sequel. So. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I would say, yeah, one of the biggest redeeming things about this movie is the creative direction of it. The Tim Burton vision, making it so weird and crazy and taking risks with it and not really giving a fuck about the general audience too much, really gives it a lot of clout. I mean, it's respectable. Yeah. I just don't really enjoy it as much as the first, so I'm not really going to go back to it to watch. And
I've watched them equally. I don't know, but... let us know what you guys think. Batman 89 or Batman Returns. I'm pretty sure most people favor Batman 89. I mean, that's just the way it's always been. But do leave comments wherever it is that you get your podfuck. I can't even talk. Your podcast.
Yeah, we could go ahead and let them know that we finally, by the time this episode's up, we should be on Google Play officially.
For sure. Google Play. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah. I mean, so obviously if you guys are finding us on YouTube, it's not the perfect format for podcast listening, but I know some people find us there. If you're on YouTube, God bless you. Subscribe us, share us, but also know we're on iTunes, now Google Play. I guess we're still on the Stitcher app. That's not going to change. And leave feedback and ratings and all that stuff there, and we will try to address all of it. Also want to give a shout out to Josh James and the R-Rated Horror Commentary. Some great stuff over there. I describe it as, when I listen to your guys' show, it reminds me of like a fanzine in audio form, and it's neat. I like the rawness of it, and I really loved the one you did with Zach too, the Friday 3. That was a lot of fun as well. And of course, don't ignore our buddy Zach here and listen to Mac and Zach Save the World. I'm not sure when you guys have a new episode. I think Mac was blowing you guys up about doing a new episode, right? So I'm looking forward to that. I like listening to you guys too. And of course, we have a new one. It's The Deep End with moi, Aaron Lipscomb. That one's brand spanking new. We're still kind of feeling that one out to see how we're going to format it and how often we're going to do them. But listen to that as well under the revivalhouse.net moniker.
You have anything else you want to pimp, Josh?
Yeah, go ahead. What you got? Anything else to promote?
Yeah, me and Wazelle, we keep it pretty simple. We just try to have a good time, and we just try to tap into the fandom, because that's just what we are. We just want to do like a simple thing for people to, maybe they want to go back and visit a movie or find something new. Like we just did last night. We recorded a commentary for Blood Rage, 1987. I really It's definitely a horror fan movie. It's a weird movie, but it's fucking hilarious. We had a great time doing it last night. I mean, A lot of laughs to be had. We just try to appeal to the horror crowd, but we do a little bit of Star Wars stuff. We're actually going to do. We decided we're going to do a commentary for The Force Awakens, leading up to the new Star Wars movie, and I mean, we're mainly a horror channel, but we're trying to change it up here and there and whatever. And it's just simple, good, clean fun, So if you haven't heard of us, come over to our channel, subscribe, watch some of our videos, and just have a good time, have some laughs,
Blood Rage, is that a prequel to PMS Cop, the Full Moon movie? No, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's 87. It was filmed in 83, actually released in 87. So yeah, it's an old school slasher flick.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
It's
been a while.
It's a fun one, man.
I feel you though. When you guys, you feel like you got to step outside and try do different things to shake it up. I mean, we're the same way. That's the whole idea behind the Revival House building a podcast network. Because if I had to sit there and talk about a certain type of thing every week, I couldn't do it. It would fall apart, and we'd do it once a month, and it would just lose consistency. So doing what we do, where we do like these commentaries twice a week, me now doing the Deep End podcast, where that's more conversational and talking about different, more serious matters, where I don't necessarily want to be a slapsticky asshole all the time. And then also where we can have something like, fucking hobo with a podcast where you can talk about exploitation shit, which isn't necessarily that's never been my level of expertise, but Riverman is all about it. Zach, you're kind of like a guru of everything. I'm convinced you've seen every movie ever made. But we got, and you got Mac and Zach Save the World, which is slapstick, man. They'll do commentaries. They'll do drunken commentaries of Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain, for fuck's sake. It's great, man. There's no walls. So I want to establish I want to establish this idea of the network, and eventually, I think it'll all make sense. And the website, I say it all the time, but the website is man, it might even be done. I actually got a sweet update today, Zach. I haven't been able to look at it. I think it's just missing a couple tweaks, but I got to look at it. But be on the lookout for that as well. I think we're all exhausted of words now, so we're going to go and end it. Thank you guys so much. We'll catch you guys next time. And as usual, leave comments for recommendations. It's the holidays, so keep that in mind. We're kind of trying to keep that going for the next 6 weeks. So adios, everybody.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Cheers.
Bye-bye, puppets. Everybody, adios.